It's a Northeast banger.
I feel like Mark Jackson, I got big trust. The homie Mark Ingram, he gon' hype up. Tell you right now, it's nothing like us. Like a prime time jet, but we big.
Come out of Baltimore, nigga. You heard a nigga from the nigga C's, man. Haundo next up, baby. You heard me. Go.
Only big shit when I'm rolling through the city.
I love Haundo!
Gotta keep it a IG tree. Y'all know IG trees. We appreciate it, but today is about you, my nigga. You heard? You know what I mean? Gotta be talking about Haundo. Gotta fucking with me. Cuz, man, cuz, y'all
Putting their records on this tape now from a business standpoint. Fuck, run down. Walk.
This is Mr. Walk Down.
You know what I mean?
We ain't gonna get straight shit. Listen to me, y'all. Get into it in the beginning. But you know how we do. Cheers to you, cheers to me. Maybe.
Whether it's services, whether it's whatever, it's a beat. I'm drinking champagne with leaders that was 25. Understand? And that's where I got my name from. I got my name.
Too slightly, and I wasn't gonna cut you off. He slid through there, right?
There's a lot of shit. But listen, it wasn't no big scene, so they ain't nothing.
Oh, on the Burberry. That was hurt. Let it drink with the big joint on there. You feel me? The
I'm talking about what I'm talking about. It's cool. And that's how old. I don't know it.
Right.
I don't know it. I didn't hear it. But shit, we gonna pull up. I'm gonna pull my shit up for them in a lot of areas. And that's how, you know, that has been some of the talented artists. You know what I mean? Like, some people.
Don't move too fast. Don't move too fast.
That's definitely a son. The nigga's nice as a bitch. Like,
That's like the end of nothing. That was the end. Exactly. I put a little bit. I had like we had enough, and niggas just put the rest on the dollar, and then niggas was so high that day we just left it there. Like,
You're now rocking with Keep It a Haundo, where we only keep it a Haundo. It's your boy Haundo, and I'm here with my man DjprinceTae. Got my man Toot, aka Big Dog, aka the Don, and we got a special guest in the motherfucking building. You
let
heard?
me let y'all know, my nigga.
Yeah,
Real
man.
substantial guy, day one,
Substantial.
in the day. You did what I said when I said. You heard me? We got
We
my man
only
one
fucking with
trees
the
in
real
this
ones.
motherfucker, man. I remember when he was no IG trees.
no IG trade.
Y'all
man.
know IG trees. Y'all don't know no IG trees, man. This is
I used to cover my
elevation,
face in
man.
pictures, man. I used
No,
to
real
put the,
shit.
Put the hoodie over my face.
Nigga, on
in
my
pictures.
birthday, nigga came out, took a picture with us. Knew it was going on IG. Nigga threw the whole hoodie on his shit. Nigga, like, nigga.
No, not going
I
there.
jizzle. You get no face at all.
Incognito.
No case, no case.
How I feel now, Mr. IG Trays?
I mean, I still kind of keep silent on the IG.
course,
Like
of
I
course.
don't push a huge social media presence. I don't like to be too loud. I like only like really
Thanks.
posting about stuff that I'm working on.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because like
Understand.
you know, growing up without fucking with social media for so long, it's like I always knew that people gonna draw the conclusions they want to draw anyway, and it's a lot easier to not give them much to work with. You know what I mean? Let people be stupid. Let people be, you know, assume what they want to assume, and you just focus on the work that you're doing, because at the end of the day, that really will change opinions if that's what you care about.
I understand.
You know what I mean? Like,
I understand.
Yes, sir.
work and track record.
Because we see a lot of niggas out here who we know on the streets, who's IG gangsters,
Oh yeah.
who became IG famous out here. Things going dumb.
And like he said, yo, I remember it was no social media. It was no internet.
You had to be outside to know what's going on.
Exactly.
You really had to be
People
outside to really
people
know.
got hot, word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
They really got hot in the streets.
Yeah,
I heard you
back
did
in time.
this. Where you hear that from, nigga?
Know
Know what I mean? Nowadays,
So
though, I saw you on the
everything
gram.
stayed low-key. You understand?
Definitely did.
We want to give a shout out to Red Crowns for letting us have this platform.
You know what I mean? Shout out to the gang.
You know what I mean?
Shout out to him.
Man, first of all, give it up for the motherfucking first episode of season 2. Alright?
Shout out to him, man.
Happy New Year.
Working.
You
Probably
understand?
doing something original though, you know what I mean? Or just, you know,
Keep it original.
just
keep it all the way
trying to do
Haundo.
something that everybody else is not necessarily doing, you know what I mean? Like,
Yes,
especially
yes.
or in the area, you know what I mean?
Understand.
We appreciate
Hey,
it,
man,
but
we
today is about you, my nigga. You heard?
Yes,
You know
sir.
what I mean?
Let the people get to know about trades, man. Let us
Exactly,
know,
we gonna let
you
them
know
get
what I
in
mean?
tune.
We gonna start off from, you know, where you're from.
Never did.
Never did. Okay.
Where
I
you're
keep
from.
everything original.
That's good.
Everybody
You know what I mean?
smoked, I did drinking.
Yeah.
You heard?
Oh, yeah, that's cool though. Always rock your own path, man. I tell you,
Exactly.
always be the best version of you.
He not smoking until he get his first meal.
lot better version of yourself than you could be a copy.
We got something for him when he get his first meal.
We gotta help. Y'all gotta help us get all of us our first millions.
Exactly.
But his
What I
first
told him,
million.
When he get his first meal, he gotta get him high on his first meal.
So what I told him-
That's the only time.
I said, the only way I'll smoke for the first time if we're in a great situation. Meaning, if these views go up, we start making them M's, everybody get on, we all together,
Yeah, when you can let your foot off the gas a little bit. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, when you can coast.
and I'll smoke.
He might be Lil Duval, y'all. Nigga wait till he about 50. So
Start smoking
Ain't
D and
nothing
shit.
wrong with it.
Ain't nothing wrong with
I'm
that.
just different.
I ain't
man.
mad at you,
different.
baby.
I'm just different.
But yeah, that one trades, baby. How you feeling?
I'm alright, man. Cool.
What's
cool,
going
man.
on with you, baby? Well, let's start from the beginning, yo. What? Let the people know. You know what I mean? Let's see how we can start with what we want to let them know from. You know what I mean? How did you get started? You know what I mean, on your path towards the music?
How I got started with music. So I was in the street a lot. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you're from certain sides of the city, maybe you know what I mean? But I always kind of been a quiet dude outside anyway. But, you know, I was into the money, you know, that was my focus. And I was really big on providing opportunity for people to feed their family.
I understand.
It was never for me about being flashy or loud or anything like that. It was a means to feed children and pay rent, and you know what I mean. And that was really important to me. And so I would try to give other people opportunities to do that. I never wanted to be, you know, a lot of people be like, oh, I want to be a boss. I didn't care about that. That was not my focus. My focus was being a good person and hoping that would give me some type of grace to get through what I was going through. You know what I mean? Like growing up, where we grow up, you know, a lot of people die, a lot of people get life. And I was just, you know, hoping that wasn't going to be the situation for me. I knew that I didn't want to hustle my whole life. And I knew that I wouldn't.
Y'all hear that? The
But
man said he knew that even though he knew he had to, he knew he wouldn't.
I knew that
End
I
up
wouldn't.
still doing it. Come on, man.
And it took no.
Hold up, first let's be clear. He knew he wasn't hustling his whole life, but he just took that hustle and put that same energy into something else.
Yeah.
Let's make that clear.
I knew I wouldn't be involved in illegal activity.
Exactly.
My
Let's
my
clear that
whole
up.
life. You know what I mean? Because I had a different background. You know what I mean? Like growing up, and that's like, you know, that's another story. But so at the time I was hustling a lot, and you know, like I said, providing as much opportunity as I could. And somebody had came to me, actually, Toot had came to me at like, I think it was like 2:15 in the morning. We was in a parking lot, and everybody was outside drinking and smoking, and he was like, yo, my little cousin, like, yo, he really nice with this rap and shit, like he can rap. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And he like introduced him to me. And I was like, okay, what's up with you? You know what I mean? And he's like, yeah, like he want to, you know, come around and, you know, he want to fuck with niggas, and, you know, he's really nice with this thing. But at the time, you know, I'm in the street. I'm doing what I'm doing. It's like I like it. Oh, it's positive, but red bells is, you know, they ringing in my head. I'm like, man, that's hot. Like, you know what I mean? I don't want no attention. I don't want no attention. So
real hustlers don't like limelight, baby.
yeah, I'm like, I don't
Real
that's hot.
hustlers.
So I'm like, yeah, you know, he want to do whatever he want to do. You know, we would love to, you know, help him towards that. That's positive. I like that. And the kid we talking about is this is Shordie Shordie.
Shordie. Let's
This is
clap it
before-
up, because his career is going
It's
up.
going nuts.
It's going up, you heard?
Well, let's correct it. It in the beginning it was Shordie and Perk.
Shordie and Perk.
Exactly. It was a group at first. It was Peso the Mafia that
At the
I
time,
Mafia. Yeah.
right. And at the time, I mean, like that during this introduction, I mean, I maybe
right. Yeah.
This was
that introduction.
This was
right
butters.
that.
This
Yeah,
is
it
butter.
was just butter.
This is butter.
Definitely just butter with that introduction.
So, like I said, I was on the path that I was on, so I told people like, yeah, like, you know, we can assist, but let's just keep that to a little distance. I didn't want nothing to do with it too much.
Okay.
It wasn't what I thought was a calling for me, and it scared me a little bit.
I'm gonna let you know, yo. You made me mad, yo. You made me mad, yo.
Look, I was
Keep it a Haundo.
I was thinking.
Hey, that's what it's called, man. Yo, keep that shit a Haundo. Cause I got some stories with this nigga. I got 2 good bowls to pick with this nigga today.
shit.
And it's gonna come out, but we're
It'll
gonna
come
keep going. Keep going, baby.
So from there, I just what happened was they had started recording, and you know, from some of the, you know, whatever people doing stuff, so people, you know, could forward sessions, and they started recording, and then they was like, okay, well, these records are cool, like let's shoot some videos to them. And I believe the first record that was shot, the first video was In My Hood. Now at the time they were already kind of like moving around with an artist called Taco Bang, another artist I had the opportunity to work with. You know what I mean? A great, talented artist, talented songwriter.
Yeah,
definitely give him
One
up
of
for
the best
that,
dancers in hip hop. I give him that. I know
he ain't
that.
fucking with me. And cuz you ain't fucking. Cuz y'all know where you
rock
get
your
that
ass
drip.
to sleep.
You know where y'all get that drip from. You ain't, come on, man.
So
Continue, cause he is the best.
and they was moving
Love you,
around with
baby.
them, and so you know they went out on tour with them, and and Taylor let them, you know, move around with them for a while, and they came back and they were just energized, like, yo, this is something we really can do. We really can, we can make it. I'm telling you, I just moving around with this nigga, these niggas not as nice as me. And they really took it serious, which is what made it, you know, it rung a, you know, it sparked a light in my head. I'm like, okay, like, you know, they got enthusiasm, they believe in themselves.
Exactly.
And
Keyword believe.
so I kind of pushed the green light, like, okay, like, you know, let's really assist them however we can. But at the time, you got to understand that we didn't understand the game, and
At all.
I didn't know
Right
anything
around.
about music as far as the business, not even how it was structured, not even like, I didn't understand the concept of it as far as like how you market and promote artists. But I did understand marketing to a degree because I, you know, what I was into, being outside. And so I took some of the templates that I had from moving around in the street and just kind of switched it over to how can I market and promote music. And one thing I do want to touch on real quick is, you know, like when people when you're a kid and your teacher asks you and they like, what do you like to get into? You know what I mean? Like, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you like to do? And that sounds so stupid because it's like, I like to do a lot of stuff.
Right, real shit. As
You know
a
what I mean?
kid,
Like,
nigga,
like
I don't
I
know
like
what I want to
football,
do.
like,
You
I
feel
like
me?
this,
Like,
I
bitch,
like
I want
that.
to do it all.
I think
The
I can
fuck?
rap. I think I can, you know what I mean? But what wound up coming to fruition was my mother used to keep me in retail environments, like different stores as I was growing up. And so I had a knack for selling. And then, you know, I had, my mother's older too. She had me when she was 40. So my ear for music is just totally different than what people in my age range is. I didn't listen to my own music until I was like 10. You know, I grew up on nothing but like old hits. And so what wound up happening was like life kind of pushed me into a situation where my love for salesmanship and my love for music just came and they collided. And I started thinking of how to sell and market, you know, that. And so at first it was just, I mean, I remember I used to have to pay $200 for these kids to perform at parties. Nobody knew who they were. And I didn't know where to start. I just knew that I had to try something. These kids are there asking me, and you know, and not even say, you know, you're older outside. I've seen so many people make mistakes. I've seen so many people die. Seen so many people go to jail for the rest of their life. Friends that I grew up with, and I didn't want the same thing to happen to them. because they were asking for something different. And from there, I started hitting up this kid named Fortune. Fortune Booming, doing very well. Proud of the kid. Really proud of him.
My man, Gage. I remember our first show. One of our first shows I got with him down Hanover Street. I believe that's Hanover Street down South Baltimore. And yo showed love ever since. Like, shout out to Fortune. When I was locked up, I can definitely say y'all definitely kept that going with bro, and he kept it going for us too.
It was mad love for that. Like he had took to me. I came to him and was asking to pay for them to perform at some parties, and you know at the time we were moving around a lot too. And from there, I kind of he had a mixtape platform. And this is the only one in the area at the time. He had this shit, you know,
crazy.
Baltimore Booming.
Yeah, Baltimore Booming.
And he would take a compilation of some of the, buzzing records that were in the city and put them all in one mixtape. Excuse me. See, Baltimore is it's divided a lot. Like, I mean, people know each other small, but people only deal with people from their neighborhood or from their family line, and, connections and things like that. And so he was given a platform that you could do, everybody was listening to, and it was getting real numbers. He was getting like 80,000 downloads in the first week. And
everybody was gonna go get the CDs.
To be in Baltimore, a lot of people don't realize that. That is a great thing.
Yeah, that was
at the time, that was really a great.
We got a lot of good DJs out here who's known at that, but ain't nobody did that but Fortune. I can give Fortune that, like,
one
he put
mixtape and really
from every part of the city.
And a lot of people ain't they ain't understand where he was coming from with that too. Like he caught a lot of heat from that. I remember people getting mad at him.
Word?
I remember people getting mad at him for putting his records on, putting their records on his tape. Now from a business standpoint, I do understand. Like they like, oh, you split my streams up, you split my views up.
Yeah.
But what he was trying to do, he's like, bro, you don't got no streams. I'm trying to get you streams. They're all coming to my platform. Let me get your name buzzing. They'll come back to you. And that's what wound up happening. All these artists that were on the first couple Baltimore Boomers and stuff like that. Most of them made a lot of noise. Like, you know what I mean? Yes. They made a lot of noise.
So let's get into that. So how do you feel about, other than you guys, the Baltimore music scene? Like, how do you feel about the artists, the people? Is it any hope for any others to, progress and really, go to the next level? What advice would you give those artists? Let me say that.
So like, speaking first on the first part, is there opportunity for it? There's definitely opportunity. Like when sparks get started, flames come next. It's just how it goes. When the forefathers of any area, or the first people to do stuff, that echoes for a long time. You look at Atlanta, you look at Dungeon Family, and then you see how far that goes.
Just watch this shit.
You know what I mean? Like, there are people who don't even know, young kids don't even know what Dungeon Family is. They have no idea what it is. And
they probably know the people from it and don't know that.
And they don't even know that they're associated with Dungeon Family. Like, there's a lot of people who review this and just like, what's he talking about? But but y'all listen to Future every day.
I understand.
And so it's like
some of y'all know Outkast.
Right, exactly.
Y'all know a lot of it, but y'all just don't know. But yeah.
So I think that this is just the beginning of Baltimore's presence on the music scene, and the reason that it doesn't have a big presence before, and it's the same reason that DC didn't have a huge presence before on it, is because these two areas had their own sound before that. A lot of people don't really acknowledge that. And so DC had go-go, and then Baltimore had club music, and so it really wasn't like just straight hip-hop. It was our own versions of it, and it was really for parties, and that's what parties and events. That's really what it was about. It weren't records, like and then that shed eventually, and that kind of got played out, and then we had the first generation of actual rappers from these areas. And so like I think for an area that's just starting off, you know, if you want to say DC and then you want to say Baltimore, I think that they're actually off to an incredible start. Because this is really the first lineup of artists that are really chasing after that and not thinking that they just only want to do it locally. I'm not trying to, I'm not knocking anybody, but I am going to say that there were a lot of people who never really thought that that was a thing that they could do. And if they did think they could do it, they thought they had to go somewhere else to do it.
Exactly.
They thought you had to go to Miami, Atlanta, New York, LA.
And some still do.
And a lot of people still do. And I'm not, once
Not
again,
knocking.
not knocking. But what I wanted to highlight was like, nah, we can do that from here. Like, you ain't gotta go to LA. Like, I mean, you're gonna have to be involved with it, but you don't have to move and say that now you from LA now.
Right. Exactly.
No,
We ain't
you
got
can-
no
a lot of-
Tupac
and a
shit.
lot of
You know,
people
you-
get into that.
And a lot of people get into it.
We ain't gotta get on no
started to be from
Tupac
other
shit.
places.
Oh shit,
We ain't gotta get into no
Oh,
Tupac
shit.
shit.
that's another story. But
We ain't gotta
like,
do that. Niggas don't do that.
Niggas ain't ready for
You
that.
go hang there though. Parlay. You know what I mean? Like you said,
Well,
you
honestly,
gotta do business
it was
these
a
places.
time. It was a time, and it still is to an extent that you get hated on so much in your own city that
they
you
can't
just
do
want to
it.
get out and be somewhere else where all the love is. You know,
no, it's because Baltimore's such a dangerous place. It's like, you
For
know,
one,
a lot of
yeah.
people don't want their dreams. I understand, because it's the same way I felt. Like, you know, you don't want your dreams, you know, you don't want to get your lights put out before you even get to them. And that's a real reality here. You could be on your way to something great and be as positive as you want to, and you can still die.
the crab in the bucket.
Yeah, you know, somebody can still take your life, be envious of you or upset with you because of other things or situations that you just might be guilty with for association. Just you being from somewhere. That's the niggas from over there. You might be going to school. The niggas from the other side don't care. You see that? So it's like,
When we already see, I feel like our mentality is like that, and I say us because you know we all from the same neighborhood, we grew up together.
Yeah.
I feel like because we were looked at period as the other side, like in our area. You feel me? Just to give y'all that vibe, like
yeah.
we are the other side in our area, like. Our neighborhood isn't a neighborhood in Baltimore City that was looked at. We had to give our name.
Yeah, nah,
You
we
get what I'm
small.
saying?
We small.
We small.
We
We
were
had to make our
literally
name.
up top.
You get what I'm saying? So
northeast.
I feel like for that, and then jumping into this music thing, it wasn't too much of a, like you said, you grew up already looked at as a weirdo.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
From your
I had a lot of people that didn't, you know, thought, because how I speak, you know, a lot of people always soft.
You get what I'm saying?
Or I had a lot of people that just thought that I was arrogant, or thought that you know, it's a lot of people just they're gonna think what they're gonna think.
Exactly. So that's what I was getting to. Like, yo,
Until you run
that-
down.
you feel?
fuck run down, walk down. This is
You
the walk.
feel me?
This is Mr. Walk Down here.
You know what I
we
mean?
ain't gonna get
That, like, I mean, it's
Shit,
like
we can get into some shit because I done say some of the most gangsterous shit I've ever heard. Niggas say, why you punch me in my mouth? Nigga, cause I'm a fucking gangster. This is the gangsterest shit I've ever. Listen to me, y'all.
Understand?
I thought I was in a fucking movie.
That's
We in
a
the
movie type
trenches.
shit though, nigga.
We in the
Don't fuck you in
trenches.
me for. I'm a gangster, nigga. What the fuck you thought?
Nigga, we in the trenches. You
I'm
feel
not
me?
Movie shit.
I had to persevere.
on,
I'm not always proud of how I persevere.
Hey
I had
man,
to- I had
listen,
to
man,
persevere.
listen.
Your
Everything
life
we
makes
did in
you
our
who you
life,
are.
man, equals up to where you are today, man. Not to honestly say,
We gonna clap that
I
up
haven't
because
known
he
you
in
all
a
your
great
life, but I've moved
place,
to the north.
heard? He's in a great place
You
right
feel
now.
me? I moved to the north 14 years ago. I've known you guys for 14 years now. You feel me? I can honestly say I'm proud of the way everybody moved, but the show's about trades, and I'm really proud of the way you moved all the way up.
Nah,
You get what I'm saying? Because like
And
you
then we
said,
go-
G,
yeah.
you went from that to, like you said, I remember me coming to you with the whole conversation. You was, bro, look, you just keep doing, we doing what we doing, and you do that, bro. And then you came to me, and you was like, yo, I can set you up with this. And from there on, bro, it was like, we did it, and you took it. And
I
you
think
took it, G.
skyrocket. And before you go on, hold that thought. We gonna salute to that now, for real, since we ain't get into it in the beginning. But you know how we do. Cheers to you, cheers to me. May we never disagree. But if we do, fuck you. Cheers to me.
Oh, y'all put me on.
That's the famous keep it a Haundo. Cheers.
Y'all put me on. That's nice, man. Who came up with that one?
Actually, my pops gave me that.
Okay,
I wanted to keep it original.
That's dope.
Keep it original.
So shit, like when I came to you and you got us our first deal, you feel me, with Elakaye Records, and then from there, like you said, you went from that. And it elevated. You tell them where you went next. Cause I had to listen. I had a meeting with this guy. You feel me? While we were still running around, and he came to me and he said, you feel me? He wanted to do a platform for like the DMV area. He wanted to bring everybody together. We understood it, but we didn't understand it. My man's here understood it. So I want you to get into that after how did you transition into that?
So what happened was I from working with Tate, I had met a guy named Omar, and O was older and is an older cat. Shout out to O too. You know what I mean? He really like taught me a lot. And what happened was we had started working together because at the time Perp and Shordie were called, Peso the Mafia. They started working with Tate a lot, and Omar had Tate. He had Tate signed to him, and he had Tate at 300 Entertainment. He was actually, so you really want to get the forefront to this, like, Tate is like the first artist rapper from Baltimore that really kind of had a major deal.
That's what I wanted to get out.
With bankrolls.
That's what I wanted to get out.
And so as bankrolls is going crazy, Shordie and them are moving around. Shordie and Perp are moving around with him as well. And so me and O wound up crossing paths. We wound up having to work together a lot. And I was someone who had, I had resources. I had a few connections from, my other walks of life, and then I had a couple dollars too. That doesn't help. I mean, it doesn't hurt. And
not at all. Shit.
Never.
Everything is built. Listen, man. Everything is built off of this shit. Like, so, hey, and it's a past life. So, you feel me? It is what it was. You feel me? And that's where it's gonna be. So it got you where you was at.
It was like,
and not only that, not to cut you off, but the biggest thing is that relationships are worth more than money.
Yeah, they definitely are.
But it never hurts to have money. You
Yeah,
understand? We ain't gonna get that twisted now. But the relationships are bigger than that money.
I understand.
Yeah, you can't capitalize off your relationships if you only wanting to get something from a relationship.
Exactly.
So you got to be able to have enough to give.
Understand.
A relationship is about the exchange.
And it comes back.
Whether it's energy, whether it's services, whether it's whatever, it's about the exchange. You got to be able to feed into what you're pouring from. So I met Omar, and what I was really just serious about this whole thing where, like, damn, if I can get these kids in a situation where they don't have to go through what I went through. That was really big for me, because a lot of shit that I went through young was really, like I really went through a lot of traumatic ass shit, and I just kind of fought through it and kept my head held high throughout it. But I know that everybody wasn't gonna be able to do that. I know I've seen a lot of people break. And through that, O started realizing that I just really was gonna keep going forward any way I could, whether I knew what I was doing or not. And he kind of took me to the side and said, "Nah, kid, let me teach you the game a little bit, and let me teach you how this is really done. Let me show you what's really important here, what you really need to be focusing on, what's really gonna get your artist
Where they need
that
to be.
those views, and where they need to be, and seeing and the attention that they need." And that relationship developed, and then from there I developed other relationships with a lot more people, just whether it was from photographers to cameramen to promoters, mind you, in the beginning, I didn't have any of this.
Right.
I had none of this. I just took one relationship and made good on it, and then made good on the next 3 that came from that, and so on and so on and so on.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, and that wound up giving me, you know, looking at 6 months after I started, you know, my phone was full. I could do whatever. If I wanted to launch a record, if I wanted to at least, if I wanted to get you where in front of those eyes. I didn't fully understand. I didn't understand how to launch a record in 6 months, but I understood the concept of how to move around and how to promote and cross promote and rub shoulders with people where it's beneficial for both parties, where people will accept you in the room and kind of help you get towards the goal that you're looking for.
So who was your first? Who was your first artist that you got to move around and really get to learn that with throughout?
The first artist I got to learn that with was Tate.
Okay.
I got to learn that
with Tate.
Yeah.
And Tate was moving too. I
And
seen
Tate
him with
was
Nelly
moving.
on there.
Tate
Got a
was
little too
moving.
drunk on there. You know what I
Tate was
mean?
moving. I mean,
Having
from
fun.
that to Wildin' Out performances.
Hey,
Yeah,
yo,
I
Tate.
remember
Hey, Tate.
When I seen that, I was
to-
very proud of.
to
I was
being
very
the
proud of
only
that.
only rapper with an Under Armour contract. You know,
You
you're looking
know,
at one of the
you-
the biggest emerging
The
sports brands in the world.
first nigga I done seen with the PlayStation joint.
Yeah,
The-
PlayStation
Sony.
commercial.
Yeah, he had
Yeah,
the
the Sony
video
games,
games.
he had video game placements. He
You
had,
feel me? Like,
he had
stop playing with my
commercials.
Like,
You know what I mean? Like, this was that was the first person that. And when I say moving around, we're not talking about moving around for fake. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it was like one week I was just, you know, I'm just hustling in East Baltimore, and the next week I'm drinking champagne with Leo Cohen. This is real. Like, it's not like it wasn't for fake.
This is
Yeah.
that episode. Like, yes.
Yeah.
It
You get what
it-
he's
I'm
saying?
learning. I'm listening.
Stop
Like, I'm
playing, man.
listening.
The
this is
level
real
up.
business.
I am listening.
You gotta understand it.
But like I said, that it was really just about my focus was really just how can I get these kids to a point where they don't have to go. And then I started realizing there was power in that. Then it became I realized my benefit in it. Because in reality, the only thing I really I wanted to do was get away from what I was already doing in the street. I was trying to find a way to not be doing that no more. I mean, this ain't the first endeavor I went on. You know, I had opened other businesses in the hood, like niggas know. You know, like all that buy back the block and buy in your neighborhood stuff. And you
Niggas
know,
have had the
I've been
stores
doing
and all
this.
that.
I've been doing this. I don't talk too much about it, but I've been doing this. I've been restaurants, whatever, like, and I just knew that this was, I got excited about it. I knew that this was going to be something that was going to bring a lot more traffic, whether it was just music. Once I started running around and I'm like, oh, this is the director of this, and this is the creative director of that, and this is the like my Rolodex is just deep, and then it was just bigger than music too. And I knew that if I kept going in this direction, that I would find something that could really give an opportunity where people didn't have to keep going through the same thing.
Same thing that you went through.
Yeah, like that's what it was big to me. I knew that I also had a reputation. I had a reputation for being violent. I had a reputation for being the exact opposite of a law-abiding citizen. You know what I mean? And being good at it. So I knew that if people saw me start to do something different, that would inspire people to like be like, damn, yo, if yo can chill out and go in a different direction,
Exactly.
I can do the same thing. Whether it be music, whether it be, I don't care whether it's school,
Anything.
whatever somebody wants to do. You want to sell cars, you want to be a bail bondsman, you want to,
Whatever legal
Whatever you
dream
wanted
you
to
ever
do,
had, yeah.
I just knew that was an opportunity. It was a means that I could get that, my real why. I could get it, you know, really pushed out there. You know what I mean? Like for me, that's my why. Thanks.
So if you could tell yourself, you know what I mean? Let's go back about, let's say about 20 years, right? If you could tell yourself.
Hell no, not 20 years. I was
Like
8.
10.
Huh?
I was 8. He was like
I
8, 9.
remember that
We
shit.
talking to him here.
Oh yeah.
He was 9.
Yeah, I was 9, but
Oh, you was there?
I was young. But I
Okay, well, 10 years,
Right,
motherfucker.
10 years.
Goddamn.
Make it
I-
more better.
I don't know. The
I
way he
got
talk,
a
the
soul.
way he
I can
talking
do
right now,
15.
I got a whole
though.
soul.
We can
I've
do
been
15.
around.
We can
I've
do
been around.
15.
the
Give
way
him 15.
he talking right
Give him
now, he
15.
sound like an older
15.
motherfucker.
We
He
can
got
do
an old
15.
soul, man.
Trust me,
So
nigga.
I
I be around this nigga.
Nah, but
So I
that's a
understand.
good reading though, cause I was 12 outside with niggas that was 25.
Understand?
And that's where I got my name from. I got my name 13. I was 13 years old. I wasn't considered no child. I was a grown man. You know what I mean? I wasn't playing. It wasn't. Yeah,
I heard stories.
I wasn't playing. So
My man Pot, shout out to Pot Go. Yeah, Power.
Power.
Shout out to all the OGs from the north, from our north side,
Shout
the
out
real
to all
north
the
side.
Real
Yeah,
north
no.
side.
You know what I'm saying?
But if you could tell yourself, I mean, 10 years ago, if you could tell yourself anything, what would you tell yourself? If you gave yourself any type of advice, what would it be?
don't overthink. As long as you like try to push with good intent, and continue to push though. Just like don't overthink. Just move.
So no
If your heart is good, you know, you're gonna land in the right place. But you gotta be smart about it too. You gotta have confidence in yourself. I would really tell myself honestly to forgive myself. That's deep. I don't know if y'all ready for that.
that shit gave me
I'm in that
chills.
stage now.
You know, like
Chills.
I would tell
now.
myself to forgive myself because like I think that's what holds a lot of people back from chasing the things that they really want. You know, like you'll go through things and whether you are really, you know, when you're spoken out, whether you're at fault or not, something could have happened to you. You got to forgive yourself for that happening or allowing that to happen to you. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times mentally, there's no way you're not placing this blame somewhere on yourself. And it weighs on you. You say, well, I'm the person that went through this. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to be doing things like that.
Right.
Because you're still thinking about you the person at your lowest. These people don't see you like that all the time.
Understand.
Even if they hear about it, they only see that for 5 minutes and then they on to the next thing.
It's a billion people in this world, man.
So-
they haven't seen you.
Yeah, you gotta.
You can't low mind yourself to one city, one neighborhood. It's not everything. Just like the music, for instance. I don't mean to jump around, but just like the music, whereas though you make music and you let everybody hear it in the neighborhood, you let people hear it on social media, and it's the you know, in Baltimore, and then you think, oh, it's getting old. No, it's about 1 million billion people, trillion people out here that hasn't even heard you. It's so much stuff you can take your shit to the whole level.
That's a old thing. You know, my Omar used to, you know, say that all the time. I remember we working with Will the Rapper, and
That's what
when
I was going
when
to
Will came
Get to that.
in,
That was some artists, son.
yeah, Will the Rapper.
We gonna get deeper.
That's my
Let's go
DC.
get
That's my
deeper.
DC king, man. My DC
Cause
man. yo.
listen, I'm
Good
glad y'all
man.
brought this up because I wanted to
My
get
good
messy.
man.
I wanted to get messy.
Yeah.
I wanted to get messy because it's keeping it hard though.
Oh, we-
and
I did
you
breeze
know
over
I
that.
talk a lot of shit on here. You know what I mean?
I did breeze over that. That whole. That
You
whole
tried to slightly, and I wasn't gonna cut
situation,
you
the whole
off.
thing, that
He
was a lot of
slid through
stuff.
there, right?
There's a lot of shit.
But listen, right? We talking to a Suge Knight nigga here. You did what I say, what I said.
I understand.
You gotta understand the steps my nigga really did to get to where he at. When I say Suge Knight, don't let it go over your head. He ain't done stuff to people. I'm not saying that.
Okay, alright.
I'm gonna get that out the way first.
Please do.
He ain't did that to nobody.
Alright.
But when I tell you, only gangsters can move how gangsters move.
Yeah.
No,
Nigga,
yes, I understand.
That will, your whole will era, bro. It showed me that that's what you wanted.
Yeah.
This is what you wanted.
Will came about so
Cause Will the street nigga. Shout out to Will the rapper.
Shout out to Will.
Ain't
That's
listen, the
good
artists
man.
that niggas be dealing with, I don't give a fuck what y'all hear about them, even if y'all don't know them. These niggas is spitting shit that they've been through.
yeah.
Everybody that we about to talk about, I take nothing.
It ain't
Take
a
nothing
lot of
from it.
bluffing. I give you the honest truth. There ain't a lot of bluffing. So with what how Will came about in the situation where my introduction to Will was I had Shordie and Perp, which is Peso the Mafia. They were signed to a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, had started a label called En La Calle Records. It's called In the Streets in Spanish. And
Shout out to Big Homie.
shout out to him. Shout out to him. And we didn't see eye to eye on the methods and how to go about promoting records and music. And like I said, I didn't know much about the business, but I was learning from other people. And so when I figured that I couldn't really get much done that I wanted to the way I wanted to, I decided to leave that label. Now, mind you, I brought Shordie and Perp there. And so, you know, they like, kind of like, yo, what the fuck? Like, nigga, you got me signed in this contract, you just gonna leave me? Like, and I had to tell him, I said, look, yo, like, what I have to do right now, I can't maneuver right here. The only way that I can make this possibly work is if I go somewhere else, utilize what I've learned, and actually make it real, and then I can double back and get you out of this situation. But there's no way I can do it without that, because we're talking about there's money involved, there's, you know.
This is the first bone I have to pick.
There's money involved, there's a lot of shit going on.
This is the first bone I have to pick.
A lot of shit going on.
This is the first bone I have to pick. Yes, let's take a drink here. I feel like the Godfather.
Here he go, yo.
Go.
My good brother,
Yes, sir.
big brother, my man, 50 grand. I come to him, say, yo, let's do this. He say, no, yo, it ain't my thing. I say, I bet. Then he come back to me. He bring me to En La Calle Records. We sign a deal. He say, yo, don't go in there and have stepping with him, yo. It's big homie. It's good people. See, I learned the same thing. It's always love, always gonna be love with him. We get into the mix. Right? Bro joins in the mix with me. We moving around. I mean, we really moving around, fellas. Like from
We flew what?
we
32
from,
people to Texas.
You heard me?
Damn!
32 people.
Listen to me, bro. It's not a game.
Not for this
South by
is a lot of
Southwest
people.
shit, like.
A lot of people
I
think we was bluffing. This is a lot of shit niggas was doing. This is before
June? Was that June?
It
July?
wasn't, mind you,
it's
there
like
was no
March
big
or
scene,
May.
so
I
there
think
ain't
like
nothing.
May or something like that.
We're gonna leave that up to the imagination, but yeah.
So listen. We gets out, right?
man,
We gets,
the number,
listen,
the price.
matter of fact, that's another bone to
Hotels.
pick in that.
We
Hotels.
was there for a week.
We was there for a whole week.
Yeah.
We in a fucking look, right? We got the
Home
truck.
hotel.
We big we hitting the motherfucking outlets. We balling out crazy. I buys the freshest Burberry. You know, I was a Burberry ass nigga back then, boy. I love that shit like it was my mama. You hear me? Listen, I bought a fresh one. Niggas was not getting these back home yet. Nigga, we all went and copped the newest shit. Nigga, I'm in the back seat. We got cups of the juice. When I say juice, you know what I'm talking about. And I ain't talking about the triple mix. You hear me? Listen, we got the motherfucking juice. I'm sipping, we bumping, we riding. Traffic is a bitch because it's South by Southwest. You feel me? So for people who don't know what South by Southwest is, in Austin, Texas,
Some music and film
it's a music,
festival.
yeah, it's a
I
music
would love to go there, yo.
you feel
It's
me?
crazy.
Up and coming artists
Yeah.
to not even known artists to
Yeah.
the biggest artists, movie
All
stars,
on really one street.
all
you know,
on one
6th Street.
long ass block.
6th
For
Street,
all my
Austin,
Baltimore people, yeah, the 6th Street, 7th Street, all that
Yeah,
shit.
man. And it's like, you know, it's crazy. Like you literally walking in a small hole in the walls, and
For all my Baltimore people, this shit
See
longer
the
than North
superstars.
Avenue.
people.
Filth though. Like,
Damn.
you walk the whole, you
Niggas
don't
say
drive.
long as North Avenue.
No,
Nigga, you know what I'm
longer.
thinking?
It ain't that.
Longer.
Nah, wait, not no.
Bro.
Hold
It's
up.
long.
Bro, it's longer than North Avenue, bro. We didn't even go farther down the blocks, bro. We stayed in our facilities.
It's a lot. I tell you
I
that.
got pulled over for the lean.
Hold on, yeah. I remember when who was that? Who was that? Was that Mitty that told Zach his shoes was long as no feather?
So the South by damn.
Listen, bro, as long as
That
shit,
one
bro.
script, just so you saying all artists is just walking around that one script, just shouting.
Artists,
you can
people,
see,
it's all artists.
bro.
Yeah, nobody's going there. I mean, some people are just fans too, but I mean, majority.
Yeah, it's fans walking
are
too. You
involved
feel me?
in
But
music.
everybody
You understand?
that's
Like,
there is artists. And yeah, it's
you really got the whole
lit, bro.
country like.
I would love to go
But no, fuck that,
Nigga,
nigga, we riding, nigga. Listen, we riding,
If they
nigga.
have it.
This nigga hit the brakes. I spill the juice all on the Burberry. I was hurt, nigga. We got 10 minutes to get to this performance. At that, we in traffic. We are still by the hotel, nigga. I'm angry as shit. Now I gotta find a shirt to put on.
Damn.
Niggas icy as shit. Everybody got they new Burberry on. I had to go buy a fucking Texas Austin shirt next door to the goddamn place we've been performing to.
Matter of fact, I got a picture on. Look,
Yes, you
I
do,
got a picture.
motherfucker.
Show me that.
Hey,
Show me that. Show me that.
No shirt, bro.
nigga, I was icy as shit.
I had the
It's hot in
ice,
Texas.
nigga, I had
You
the
should've took it off.
iciest Burberry.
Fuck you,
shit on me,
nigga.
bruh.
Ain't that shit outside anyway, ain't it?
Icy as shit.
I had the
Ain't that shit
joint.
outside?
I had the joint with the big.
Balenciagas.
I had the joint with the big
With the
joint
arenas.
on there. You feel me? The platted shit though. Like nobody had. They wasn't out yet.
You should have put that bitch around your neck
He
and
got
just
the-
took the
he got
shirt
the
off.
Texas-
Nah,
he
you
got
should
the
have kept it
Texans,
in the
hoodie
fucking
on.
bag.
Yeah, the Texas hoodie on.
Yeah,
Texas-
yo, then I had to go put on
I
a
can't remember
fucking.
what team. I don't know. It was a Longhorn. Texas
Yeah, it's a
Longhorns.
long Texas Longhorn joint. Yeah, you feel me? The joint. But I had to with the Louis joint on, with the diesels on. You niggas wasn't wearing diesel in 2015. You bluffing ass niggas wasn't getting that much money back then. With the I just had on some Timbs, but I was lit up, man. We was lit on the block. I was still lit after that. You feel me? Cause I got swag. But I swear one of them bones I had to pick. And then the second bone we gonna get back into the story of what you used to do. You feel me? Of how you not. I don't feel like you left us. You feel me? In the sense of that, cause like you said, you had to move around. You feel me? And you weren't signed to the label. I was stuck with the label, so I couldn't move. So when I did have that meeting with I just passed it on.
Yeah, yeah.
When you started dealing with Tate and Will, I understood what you were doing.
Yeah.
So when I did go away for my time, I understood and I thank you for getting them out of the situation.
Yeah. I wasn't gonna leave him there. I wasn't.
You
gonna
feel
leave him
me?
there. I appreciate that. Like I wasn't going. Like I had promised. I had promised that. Now, mind you, what I promised, I did. It was like at the time you talking about something that's really, nigga talking about something impossible. Cause
Trust me.
it just wasn't like who the fuck did I think I was saying like, look, I'm gonna leave, go pop another artist off and get him a deal. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna grab you out this deal and then pop you off and get you one. And who the fuck did I think I was just saying like that's, but I willed my way into it. Like, I started running around with O and Tate and situation came up where me and O were looking at the time. He had offered me, so he said, do you want to come and build this label with me? You know what I mean? Like, I was like, nah, like, yeah, that's dope. I had some other offers too for some other people in the area, and but I went with O because he didn't have too much of a street background, and the people that were giving me opportunities did, and that's not no knock to them. It just wasn't at the time. It wasn't my fit because I didn't want people to respect what we were doing because it's this person with this reputation and this person with this reputation. So of course they can get it done.
Right.
What I wanted to be respected for the work that I put in.
Exactly.
And me understanding and learning the business and innovating on ways to, launch these artists and give them a platform. That's what I wanted to be known for. And so I chose to work with O, and he had a company called D1ent Entertainment. And so D1ent Entertainment was really just a company at the time that he had to put, have Tate assigned to as him being his,
I'm gonna just throw this out there. That was like one of the slickest names ever. I couldn't even find nothing for myself that just went like that.
Yeah.
D1 Entertainment. Like it don't get no better than that.
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
So
D1 Entertainment.
A lot of
was the
people,
hardest shit.
a lot of people thought that meant like like D1 like college, like or whatever. Like
No.
this is like where you
I
get to
thought
before you get to the big leagues.
The One Entertainment. Period.
That's what you so that dude said
D1 Entertainment.
Yeah.
That
So,
shit sounded so
what it really
fucking
come
hard to
from,
me.
what it really come from is a passage in the Bible.
That's
And it's this is from
I never would have thought.
yeah, it's from a passage in the Bible, and it's direct one. D.
Okay.
The D is for direct.
No, I know what it's standing for.
So
yeah.
it's like O felt as though that he had a calling, which was to help young men not be same. We had the same. This is where we connected. We had the same goal. His goal was, hey, look, I don't want these kids going through this shit, and I know this business. Let me help them into this.
Explaining that to me in the beginning.
And so that was our interests aligned right there. Like, oh, okay, somebody talking about what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
That's cool. And that's where the name comes from. He felt like he felt like he was entrusted and enlisted by God almost. Like, not saying he was a fanatic or anything, just feeling like, ever since he was put in that spot. And that was his calling. That was what he was meant to do. But this was not something that was talked about, though. Like, it was Omar. It was just Omar. So it was like, okay, and incredible capabilities and what he could do on his own. He did a lot. And he started this. He really lit the fire to this like a different level of production and really promoting and pushing artists in a professional way that this area just wasn't used to because it wasn't happening before that.
It was not here. I'm an artist myself, and it was nothing really to look forward to.
Yeah, like
you guys made it really, really cool, and you guys made it possible for everybody. Like everybody and their mother raps now in Baltimore. You understand?
Yeah.
I feel like you guys paved the way for people to make it possible for you to know that it's possible to.
That's 100% the truth. That's 100% the truth.
Yeah.
Like, that's 100% the truth. I say this to people and shit like, yo, when I started fucking with this music shit, we had two examples before us, and I definitely want to say that real quick. You had Scooter, rest in peace, and you had Moose. Those were the two. That was East and West, and that was the two heavyweights for the city. They really kind of paved the way for a lot of artists as well. And really, they broke the ice.
Yeah, they
you know what I mean? Like, they made it cool again to like, oh, I want to rap.
I understand.
And
shit, we went over on one of well, not we, but Dummy and them went over one of his tracks, Young Moose tracks. They did a remix to one of his tracks. I understand.
Yeah.
Like that's they started this shit. Like but they opened the doors. They had the gates open up.
Scooter,
all
right?
crazy.
Yeah,
all
crazy.
Right before he went.
The last song. Well, I wouldn't say the last song he probably did, but I know the last feature he probably got was with Peso the Mafia. That shit was real.
That was at
He
Above
really
Ground
showed niggas
Studios.
Love. Yeah, Above Ground Studios. Shout out my mans, man. Above Ground Studios.
Nate Middleman.
Yeah, Bella and Roll,
Engineered
man.
that session. I
Yeah,
remember that.
my nigga, man.
But
They still show love.
So moving with that. All right, we came in a will, and O had sent me this record, and he was like, yo, like, listen to it and tell me what you think. And I listened to it 2 times, and I called him back and I said, yo, sign that kid right now.
What's the record?
Sign him. The record was Pull Up, Hop Out.
Pull up.
So
That shit make me want to go crowd surf right now.
that-
It ain't even no crowd out here, but I'm gonna jump. I'm gonna jump out.
Wow.
Listen, energy. The energy.
It definitely was. And so like I listened to it those 2 times. I called him and said, yo, sign him now. And he's like, all right, well, you know, I'm gonna call him and see if I can get in touch with him. And he's hard to find. At the time, Will didn't even have a phone. He was like, how do you get in touch with him? I don't know, you gotta like ask this person and ask this person. And then, so eventually he pulled up on him. And, you know, he was able to tell him what he could do for him. And that's when I was introduced to Will. And what he was saying was, at the time, he's like, yo, pop out. That's not even, you know, that's not even my new music. That's old. Like, that was buzzing before. He actually had a video that got to like, I think it got to, I don't want to say like 600,000 or 700,000. And then for some reason it got deleted. And he had a video for it already. And it already kind of like ran around in the smaller parties and the younger parties. But we like, yo, nigga, that's not old. I don't know it.
Right.
Exactly. And that's what we got to.
I don't know it. I didn't hear it.
Yeah.
So I like, how is it? Oh, niggas! I know niggas in New York don't know this shit because I don't know it and I'm down the street.
Exactly.
So that's not
new
old
to
yet.
it's not
let's
old
pop
to
this off. This is the
everybody,
this is the one. This is really the one. And we started. This is where I really started learning how to break artists. So the first thing that we did was we went and we we're gonna put another verse on it. It had one verse, and we're gonna shoot a new visual to it, a really good one. Not trying to be too flashy, not making this shit unbelievable. You know, really letting them start with you somewhere, letting the audience start a journey with you somewhere. Like, even if you had a previous track record, they would be able to understand instantly from seeing a new visual like that, like that this is the start of something new. This is this person starting on a different level.
Y'all had that shit popping. Y'all got that shit popping. How the fuck did y'all get that to
Pull
Goo
up and hop out.
Now,
That's
how
the
did y'all get that to
Goo?
Goo? That's what I want to know.
Oh yeah.
Like, how did Gucci Man get on that?
I didn't know that.
You didn't know Goo Wop was on that?
No, bro. I
On
just
a
know the
remix?
song. I really
I
know.
ain't know that neither.
Right now I'm a fan, just listening.
Understand?
and
Understand?
trying to
Okay,
get tuned
okay.
in.
That's what I want to know, bro. I'm a fan.
I
of that
honestly
too. I'm a
believe
fan,
that
and I was there.
That might
I
be
wasn't there,
Gucci's
but
first.
yeah.
That might have been his first feature that was released when he
That's
came
wicked. That's wicked.
out.
That's wicked.
Yeah.
Hey, Will.
Yeah, definitely.
Shout out to Will, baby. You
Shout
got
out
the
to
first
Will.
feature of the
Will.
WAP when he came home, my nigga.
Yeah, that definitely
Come on,
was
man.
the first feature right there.
Come on, man. Is that an exclusive? That's exclusive.
Yo, I told niggas this episode's gonna be special.
Yeah,
That's
a-
exclusive
that's
right
a
there.
right
I
there.
told
Will
you
got the
this
first
episode
record.
is
That's the first
special.
The first feature of the WAP.
Yeah.
Well, this, come on, man. Y'all
I,
gotta stop
if
playing.
something slipped through,
Understand.
you know, somebody could correct me, but I don't think it did.
Hey,
I'm almost certain of it. So
yeah, when I said it should night sit next to it. Just a skinnier version. Just the more slicker 2020 version. You did what I
Understand?
said, what I said.
We don't surround ourselves with just any and everybody. You understand?
appreciate
We surround ourselves with people that's trying to do better than what we're doing. You understand? That way we could be better. You know, and we can grow. You know, as a unit. Or you hang with some people that pull you down.
I
Gonna be down.
They say, like, you know, they say that corny shit, but it's real. Like they say that, you know, be the change you want to see.
Yeah, not real
Like,
shit.
so you
I
know,
swear I'm gonna be the next Huey P. Newton in a
Yeah,
minute.
you know,
Say
like,
that one more time so they can hear you.
They say, you know, be the change that
I
you
said
want
that
to
shit
see.
the other day,
You know what I mean? Like,
Wait.
if you,
Hold on, because I want that shit to be noted.
they say be the change that you want to see. Like,
shit.
you know, if you wish that if you wish things were carried a certain way, or you wish that your area had this, or you wish they had that, or whatever you feel like something is lacking, instead of
Talking about
always talking about it or complaining, you could kind of forefront it and just set the tone for
Be
it
that.
and be that yourself. It's always a lot better to be the first to something or be an original something than a copy of something else. I can be 13 every day of the week way better than anybody else can.
Exactly.
Nobody else can do me like I do me because that's I'm built how I am, and you know, that's for everybody else as well. You can really be the best version of yourself better than anything else. So like,
Be yourself.
if
man.
you have an opportunity to do something that's different, that's where you really that's where you're gonna really create your value.
I understand.
You know, like it's a lot of people that are doing the same thing with anything, and that's really a big reason why at the time I was so gung ho on getting involved, because I knew that if I could make it work, that it would be groundbreaking, because there were no other artists that had a national following that were from where I was from. Like they might have had. I don't want to say that. Like people didn't have fans
no shades
around.
Yeah.
They did, but I meant like that they were signed to major deals where they, you know, they had at least got over a hump that we hadn't seen get crossed yet.
I understand.
And so we were promoting Pull Up Pop Out. We were going, to putting up posts, making people call the radio station nonstop and ask them to put it in.
Understand.
DJs are king, because why would they continuously spin your records at their parties if you don't even come and promote them and show they night some love? They gotta feed too. People just looking at DJ like, oh, you just play the music. Nah, that man has a night. That's his night. His night's supposed to be jumping. You gotta help him. You want to build that relationship. You want your records banging in every club. Go show that man some love.
I understand.
You go call that man. Pull up. Oh yeah. What day you on?
I understand.
Oh shit, we want to pull up. I want to perform my shit live on your shit for free.
I understand.
A lot of people don't understand. Like, you want to call that whatever they want to call. Oh, you ass kissing? No, we building relationships.
Exactly.
Because don't forget that these are the same people that called me back when the promoter came to them like, yo, can you get a record? Can you get them on? Yeah, and they came to us with a bag. They came to us with a bag. These are the same people who were giving my artists their first $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 bookings, because we went and showed them that love in the beginning. So now they know we'll play ball with them. I'll help your night be popping too. I'll help your shit be lit too. If you're not exchanging and you thinking you're just gonna take from these relationships, it's not how it's gonna work. You're gonna have to put something out.
Let me throw this out there before you go in. A lot of people think karma is a bad thing. It's not always a bad thing. You got good karma as well.
I understand.
You understand? So what you put out, you get back. It is not always because you did bad that bad's gonna come back. It's that good that you put out that it come back around and somebody be good to you. You get what I'm saying? And we just gonna throw that out there. You know what I'm saying? Not to cut my man off,
that's real.
but we gonna,
That's real
we gotta
life.
talk that real shit. We gonna keep everything a fucking Hondo on the
Understand.
show.
Like,
Because
You know
that's
what
what
we
this
gonna
about.
stand on.
Keeping that shit a Hondo.
Feel me? And we not gonna put nobody on this platform that ain't a motherfucking honey. It ain't a motherfucking Hondo. You heard?
Appreciate that.
Already.
So we moving through that, we want to run into, we shopping them around, records going up, and labels are calling, and now we're just taking meetings, and we're seeing what everyone has to offer. We're not getting overexcited, and at the time we felt that the best place to place him was at Republic Records, which is the #1 record label in the world. I don't think might be going on 6 years in a row, not 7. So
That's lit. That's lit.
we signed him to Republic, and that was a big thing. The only other rapper from the area that was signed, you had rappers, you had Fatro, shout out to Fatro, and Devo.
I remember we went and shot dice with them niggas.
Yeah,
So I try to
no,
remember
they
as
my
well.
guys. I got a lot of love for them. For real. And then you had Glizzy, and then you had Wale. And so these are the people from the area before that that were notable that were on.
So
and we're repping it. And at the time, we were still trying to pop off other artists as well, and we had ran into a dude named Izzy.
There we go. I was just getting ready to say, how do we get into that? Yeah. And shout out to Izzy.
This kid, this actually just came where we weren't necessarily actually like. It's not that we weren't looking. We didn't even know that that's what we were looking for at the time. I think he had this freestyle. It's a street runners freestyle. I think that got Chucky to put together, and this kid just had the look, but he could really rap. Like he could really rap.
Yeah,
like,
he can rap.
I mean, like from the
freaking
beginning,
rap
like bar for bar, he was just going. Like he just like, and so I'm like, oh damn, like, oh, you know, it's like, what you think about this kid? Like, I'm like, yo, this kid is nice, but I was already excited about him. I didn't have to do no convincing him. He was already excited, and
Cause let's get that straight though, real quick. Cause like I said in the beginning, when I had the meeting with he invited us down 4 seasons. We had dinner, we talked, and his whole thing was to put DMV artists on the map.
Yeah.
He felt like it was our time, which I agree with that, just like he agreed with that. I agree with it. I just was already in a situation. That's why I say I thank him for not being in that situation with us.
yeah, well, I was
On
able to
them
walk away and
papers,
keep going.
you get what I'm saying? To elevate that ladder for when we could get out of it.
Yeah, because what happened was, see, yeah, it was like you had, this is O's speech, but I you know, I wound up really adopting it because it's so true. It, you know, I never looked at it like that, but you know, like New York started it. You know, West Coast got it. Down South got it. And kept going with it. And they still, you know, like they still had it for a while, and it was like everybody kind of skipped over this area, but like this area is like mad real. It's like people from those,
Why wouldn't you?
mad
Why
real.
wouldn't you want
Mad, like, it's a lot of crime going on
place.
here. It's a lot of, I mean, it's a lot of these stories, a lot of these adverse situations that create these stories.
Yeah.
The place
So-
that has the motherfucking competes for the murder rate.
I mean, per capita, I mean, I think they're like we edge with other cities, but on a consistent basis,
no, you have no stories.
Huh?
Can't think we won't have no stories.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, our
get
murder
what I
rate
mean?
I don't see how people can skip over
yeah.
the DMV. Like,
Why
south,
isn't
the
this
west.
the most?
and the money here is crazy. The stories here are real. We come up a lot rougher than a lot of areas, and that's not no. You know that has its positives in it. For I don't know, we made them positives, but it also has extreme negatives. Extreme negatives. So don't think that we saying that to be like proud of it or anything like that. Shit, I wish I didn't grow up like that. You know, like I wish I didn't, but that is how I grew up. And that's how a lot of people from this area grew up, and that was what it was about. It was about showcasing this area, because a kid in Africa doesn't want to be a doctor if you ain't never seen nobody be no motherfucking doctor from Africa. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, what the fuck is that? He's never even been to a doctor. What the fuck is he gonna be a doctor
shit,
for?
man.
What the fuck are you talking about? So why is anybody talking? So like, we wanted to at least showcase like, yo, you could actually do this, and I think that being the first to do something I think that's a good trophy. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's something that is worth fighting for, being a forefather or something. Hopefully people can learn how to innovate and make themselves relevant and continue to stay, because that's, you know, there's people who are in the game for beginning or spark of it. See, I now have generations of hip hop to look at in this business, to look at and see that. I've seen people who they still are of great importance, but they had their time and then it went. They didn't innovate. They didn't continue to grow with it or not no shot to them. It's just really how it's a
It
tricky
ain't too many
business.
Snoop Dogs out here.
Yeah, there's not too many people who can stand the test of time. But I do think that the team that I was working with, shout out also to Rad, big shout out to Rad. Studio Compound.
Big shout out to Rad, Studio Compound. Y'all go check in, man.
Baltimore, Studio Compound DMV. We got
Understand, man. They going global
it's a growing
with it. My
brand.
nigga
This
going global
is
with
a
it.
big thing.
That's
A big
all
thing
I'm
that's
going
really
for
started
beats.
off the back, off the back of a lot of our work. And
Nigga know
especially
Rad so long. I remember Rad when he was rapping.
shit, a long time. Like
You niggas don't. See, this is real shit here,
and
y'all. We
and
keeping
he
this shit
said,
on
like,
here,
talk
man.
that shit.
even him, like that's the thing. Like you got to look at how many things this has launched just besides that D1 Entertainment thing.
Understand, man.
You know, like at the time, let's say
It's
for
helped a lot
Rad
of
building that
lives.
brand and building that and really being one of the first people to understand that there were other things that we could do with this.
Mm-hmm.
With this traffic, there were other ways to make money. He's like the first person to figure like, oh well, while this is going on, I'm gonna build this brand too, and you understand what I'm saying, and really understand how where the money really comes from when you get some type of notoriety and when you get the chance to have the ball. You know what I mean? Like, and you look at Tate, he had his time. Where he had a big, huge amount of stardom and the attention was on him, and then
like you said, that nigga Tate he just did what with K-Cat. He got like 3 tracks he did for Mulatto. They probably like the hottest songs on the joint.
He on that Drake and 21 Savage
Drake.
record.
Come
Mr.
on,
Right
man.
Now.
Mr. Right Now.
That's
Come
the
on,
big
man.
one. That's the big one.
That shit my shit. I love this
So,
song. But
it's-
if you know Tate,
Yeah,
that's
I
how.
have-
Come on,
yeah.
man. Y'all better stop playing with the kid, man. That man. Come on, man. Give my nigga his flowers now, man. Cause I be ready to disrespect a lot of you rappers for real, for real.
Yeah,
I
I'll tell you,
I
one of
just
the
only-
most talented artists
Don't
I've
forget, though, I ain't a
ever
rapper. I
had the blessing
jump
of
on
working
stage.
with. You know what I mean? Like, and some people, it's another thing. A lot of people, some people know how to promote and don't, and market themselves, and they might not be talented. That's a way to make it, but some people really are just fucking talented.
Yeah.
And Tate is definitely one of those people that just it's
Real
like
shit.
I don't care if there was no money in music or in entertainment. He gonna be making somebody entertain, smile, and laugh by being in his
Understand.
presence. That's him as a person. That's how.
Understand.
That's just who he is.
Exactly.
So, I think that it's impossible to say that the area doesn't have an infinite amount of potential like that. The star is the kid in the class that always says the right thing at the right time.
Yeah.
That's him. That's right there. It's
I love it. I love it. I loved how he was in. I don't know if they were like family or anything, but like D-Dave, bruh.
Yeah,
He was so
yeah.
fucking talented.
D-Dave,
Rest in
bro.
peace.
And I got
Rest
to
in peace
actually
to
do
Bo,
a show
y'all.
that we were both on, me and D-Dave.
Yeah.
Bruh,
talented.
so much talent. He's so talented, and he has so much
Shorty had
love.
them lyrics,
Yeah.
boy.
He
Shorty,
has
boy.
so much
Oh,
love to
Tate.
give out, bruh.
Yeah, I heard a lot of positive about the kid. Like I've heard a lot of his records. I went over them. I would listen. I would pay attention to the whole area. Even if I didn't speak to it,
Right.
or try to do
Understand.
business. I always wanted to understand the area that I was in and understand the music as it was evolving or where it was at or whatever. So I paid attention to everything, but I always got a good rapport from them. Like people would always say that.
How much good Baltimore history you got?
FMG.
I got a lot of history.
When
man.
Jones get domed in a 500
Come
Benz
on.
on chrome, talking to the flip phone, getting a tip blow, find some chick though,
Come on,
something
man.
that, oh yeah, they talk right, flashy big bro, you guys not playing.
These are real anthems and shit. Real.
Know what I mean?
Like real area hits that I'm proud to be a part of. Like when you go Peso the Mafia, Money Man. If you got a child in the Maryland area,
Oh,
My
under the
song.
age
to this
of,
day.
if they were under the age of 15 at the time, you saw them doing it. Like,
My nigga, I was booked at this time. I'm booked.
they kids in DC doing that shit, and you never saw DC and Baltimore connecting.
Then you had grown men in the joint
You-
banging on my door, showing me the dance.
This is how I'm doing it.
Before Lil D came and showed me before Lil D came and visit me, you feel me, when it was popping, and he showed me like, yo, cuz, we got this song, it's popping, we got this joint to it. He broke it down for me. But before that, niggas was coming to the joint, cuz, your niggas on the radio, cuz. Man, that's the shit right here.
Am I doing it right?
I'm doing it, cuz. I'm doing that shit right. I'm going
I ain't
fucking
gonna lie, yo, that
crazy.
song really
My
did,
nigga, I
'cause-
cried in my soul that
Yeah.
night, nigga. This is what I dreamed of, my nigga.
Yeah.
I cried. I ain't had no. It was crazy. God had to do it because I ain't had no buck buddy for 2 weeks when this
Yeah.
song came out.
You knew you was gonna be in there.
Nigga, I was sitting middle like a motherfucker. Nigga, I was in that bitch trying to hit that shit. He came and visited me like the next week. Nigga, I went in that bitch to try to hit that motherfucker. You heard me? That bitch. Nigga, every night, 9 o'clock on a dot, nigga, I'm on rap attack. Nigga, I'm trying to hit that shit real quick and hit that motherfucker. Y'all niggas went crazy, man.
That was like
that went crazy out there.
Y'all
like,
niggas went crazy,
going
man.
to pull a pop out. Then even you know, you had then Izzy came with
That's what I want to get into.
Consistent.
I'm an Izzy fan, bro.
consistent.
Fuck with Izzy, bro.
I'm a Young Crazy fan.
Yeah.
Huh?
Young
I'm
Crazy,
a crazy
Crazy, yeah.
Don't move
Talk
too
about
fast.
Young Crazy.
Don't move too
fast.
fast. Don't move too
Get
fast.
that.
Don't move too fast.
That's definitely.
Yeah, I was
That
watching
nigga
this.
nice.
That's-
I like
Listen,
Shordie.
I'll tell you something. Young Crazy. Like, don't get it. That's how we got into business with him, and with D1ent as a company, got into business with him because he was nice as fuck.
Yes.
I remember one
Young
day we was
Crazy,
on a call.
damn.
This is how Young Crazy came about. I was on a call with he said it was me, Omar, and a kid named DJ Social. I think and Rad was on the phone, somebody else, and we was like, he was like, yo, we define who the hardest nigga that's not signed in Virginia. So we like, all right, we're gonna check. We're gonna start, looking around. I came across Young Crazy. I looked at a couple of his videos, and at first I was like, this can't be him. This can't be the hardest nigga in Virginia, right? Look, I didn't connect with the music at first. I didn't, because I didn't understand the sound. I didn't really give it a chance. And then later on that day, Social came and was like, yo, I got this nigga Young Crazy. And I was looking at him earlier. I was like, yeah. So he's like, yo, boom, I hollered at him. I don't know if he had reached out to him first or what. I don't remember how that conversation had broke with him. But when I started to really pay attention to his music, I realized that this nigga had an entirely different sound than what I was used to, but I also didn't understand that Virginia had been innovating.
Mm-hmm.
See, I didn't understand that we were, the people from the outside, you call it DMV, or even, the inside want to call it DMV, but the culture was not connected. It wasn't.
Baltimore is not part of the DMV.
I mean,
We're a southern state. We are part of the DMV.
we
You
are.
think so?
I mean,
Bro, we
other
are
than
a
that,
southern
if you want to
state.
say technically,
We are a southern
we
state,
are
bro.
technically
A
part
southern
of the
state.
DMV.
A couple
But
of
we are
artists
part
is
of
in
the,
there, bro.
the
but
DMV is.
we don't.
No, as
a
far
lot
as
of
the
people
culture,
don't
no.
look at themselves
No.
as part of the DMV. You get what I'm saying? It's not.
But a lot of
not
Virginia
in
niggas don't look
line.
at themselves as part of the DMV as well.
Right.
Yeah, depending
Because
on
their
where
culture
you
is
from.
so different.
Depending on where you from.
They like you might got some of the Northern Virginia niggas that's right there, like Woodbridge and shit like that or whatever. Yeah, they
I
might
feel like
they
it's
part
the
of
city
DMV.
niggas that don't
But
feel
you
like
ask
they
a
part of the
Norfolk nigga
DMV.
or a nigga from Newport News or Norfolk, if he feel like he part of the DMV, them niggas is not the same.
Yeah.
They got they've been doing shit different for a while, and then when see people not really looking at their track record, you look at people like Pharrell,
Missy,
Timbaland.
Mm-hmm.
These niggas been
Like they from
innovating
Virginia.
the culture in its whole
Trey
entirety
Songz.
been kind of taken from them, not trying to but they've been taking and biting a lot of their style and not really giving that area the credit
yeah.
for it. Virginia has been a hub for creativity. And Young Crazy was rapping a way that I didn't fully understand at the time, but then as time went on, I actually saw other artists skyrocket with that sound. And I don't think that the people that we were working, I don't think that they really understood his sound either. I actually just had a conversation with him about this last week. And I said this to him. You know, we was in the studio and I was like, yo, I don't think we understood where you were going with it, but now looking back on it, you were ahead of your time with it. You know, like, and we just didn't, and not just us, I mean, some of the other labels too didn't really understand the importance of it at the time.
Shit, I saw it as soon as y'all signed it.
I mean, don't get it fucked up. That's why how you got signed. The nigga's nice as a bitch. Like,
every
and
song
the
I
records
heard
was
him
hard.
on, from all of that
The records was hard.
the D1 compilation CD.
that
I still listen to them
album
tracks to this
mixtape,
day.
that
like,
shit was
I
that,
still listen to that shit this
I
day.
love that
like,
shit. Hey, what would you say?
Yeah.
That's that whole album was that.
Understand. Listen.
Yeah, a lot of.
I'm getting cake to be honest. That nigga Izzy killed that shit.
Yeah. My
He's been a
favorite
great
record
artist,
at the time from Young Crazy was a record called
I think mine was called Molly. He did it. It was like a
Molly
feature or
Bang.
something.
That's
I like
crazy.
Lessons.
Go Dumb. Lessons is mine.
Yeah.
Get Dumb. My bad.
But
Okay. But Lessons was my favorite record. It had something in it that I felt just connected with women, and I know like I follow trends. I follow not like I don't follow the trends myself,
But you can
but
see
I track
see
them, and I know that. See, when people really say that niggas don't understand this really is like girls really do run the world.
Yes.
And I'm gonna show you how.
Get it fucked up.
Pussy power. If you ain't heard pussy power from Kevin Gates yet, understand.
Show y'all
Kevin
how.
Gates, nigga.
Let me tell you
Bitch,
something.
Tell you quick if you ain't know.
What?
You don't know
Why
a
do
bitch.
people go to
That's why you got
clubs?
bitch
Why do
problems.
people go to clubs?
For
For
bitches.
females.
For women interaction,
Exactly.
right? Okay, cool. You know, just being in a place where there's other people, the other sex too, whether you're gonna be engaging with them or not, just being in the presence of it. So DJs have to play the records that women go up to. That is what draws
Exactly.
niggas in. Niggas like records, therefore, that women like because they not want to play some shit that they don't. Really, if you talk to a bunch of street niggas, they listening to numbers 6 and 7 on the album that don't got a star on it, that nobody else knows because it relates to them and their childhood or some struggles that they was going through. That's not what you playing in the club with no girl.
Exactly.
You're not playing that to attract women. So
You playing
niggas
it.
wind up liking the records that women like. So we still following them. It's really, they really run the world for real. So
Why you think niggas like Fantasia? I put your pictures on my mirror.
at the time,
Yeah, let's stop playing. He talking to y'all.
at the time we was following, that's one of the things that followed at Temple 2 as well. Like even down to that's a way that Izzy did so well as well.
Yeah, how did y'all break Izzy in, man? Let's get into that, man. Let's get into
Get
that
into
Baltimore
it.
guy
Shit.
with congratulations on your baby.
I
You
would.
feel
Yeah,
me?
congrats on Izzy and the
But
baby.
no.
You take an artist like Izzy from the west side of Baltimore, buzzing in the city, to where he is now.
So like, that's like all of these things though. I want to say, except for the beginning of Tate, I can give that to all. All these things were a collective. One thing I want to say is that it took a big hurdle that it's hard for people to get past is that we took a lot of people who had the same goal and put them together. See, like the company that we had built at the time it was composed of young, hungry people who wanted to find a place in this business, in this industry. And they were really throwing their real time into it. Like they really walked into it with blind faith. And I think that spark and magic is what kind of created an energy that kept us continuously jumping shit off. I mean, like, well, we were working several artists at the same time. Like, there was never a week that went by where we weren't pushing, like, at least one thing, you know what I mean? One record, or not two.
Understand.
At the same time, like, in the area. And really catching traction with it.
I understand. Back to back to back to back. Like, y'all better stop playing with the kids.
That shit really took a big effort from a team of people. They really put a lot of their time into it, so we can go down the list of people, and I want to make sure that I do get that right too, because a lot of times that's overlooked. I'm not talking about our partners or anything like that. They appreciate it too, and those business happenings happened, and we are thankful for them, or I am at least, and I'm gonna continue to you know, fuck with those relationships. But like, as far as team members, you know, down to, you know, Morgan, Rab,
Morgan,
huge
Rab.
part. Rab is like a third of what that company was. You know what I mean?
Real. Nah,
Like
for
a real, you know, whole section of it on his own. Omar is, you know, whether people, Omar, I don't know what he. For me, he really taught me the game. He really taught me the game. He really showed me how to network and how to move around. And then you have down to Asha, Dime.
that nigga O been around since the Woo.
Maybe before the Woo.
Damn, before the Woo.
Before the Woo?
O came in to hip hop scene with Father MC.
Damn.
Everything's gonna be alright. This is where O comes into. You understand?
Nigga.
So
Get into it.
Like the first time I ever met Diddy, right? O walked up and there was a so there was a De Leon release party.
Okay.
At Park.
Owned by a black man.
Mark Barnes. And I remember always mentioned it to me, and he was like, "Yo, I don't even know if I can get you on this list or whatever." Like, you know, we was talking about it or whatever. But you know, he got, you know, this nigga go back. But somehow, got this where I got on this list, and because somebody else called me and said, "Yo, I'm looking over the list for this party and shit." Like, "Yo, you know you on a Diddy party list." I'm like, okay. And like, you know, like, I'm not saying, you know, like, it's not the easiest thing to be invited to an event for him if you're not doing stuff in your area. And from where I was at the time, I wasn't looked at as somebody who was doing something enough for somebody to have me on a list like that. That spot could have been filled with somebody else. And I got on this list. And so I'm at this party, and O walks up and he punches Diddy in the arm, like they, you know, on some, you know, they cool shit, like, "Yo, what's up?" Boom. I'm thinking to myself, like, "Oh, my nigga, you know, what the fuck, you punch Diddy?"
Nigga.
Did you just play shadow box with Diddy? What are you doing? Like, bro, like, he like, "My nigga, I know this nigga." So that's how deep this nigga all been around for a long time.
Definitely.
And like I said, I speak well of him because I'll just say that this business is long, and you know, you're only gonna find with so many people who are gonna give you that first break. You know, like when I was really running around, I just didn't know what to do next, but I still was trying. And he really gave me an opportunity to kind of figure out where in this business I wanted to go to and what I wanted to be involved in, and how I could really just deepen my roots in this business and be able to put myself in a position where I could be around to continue to help these artists grow and be a part of the scene growing and elevating to the next level and shit.
So is Izzy.
Izzy
What's up
comes
with Izzy?
in.
Where did this deal come from? How did this deal walk in? Tell me this infamous walk-in
That's a
deal.
special kid right there.
Oh yeah. Also, alright, so Izzy, the first thing we had done with Izzy, which I don't totally agree with now. Like I said, you go through these things and you figuring out, you're stabbing and you're learning from them. And so at the time, we had this template that, you know, we had to formulate certain, you do certain hits, but that things that we're going to catch in this new market, we had to slow them down. And so we asked him to slow down his flow, and we wanted him to do a remix to Young M.A.'s record, Ooh. And he had sent his first, you know, draft of it, and we suggested that he slow it down and, you know, hit it from a different angle. I was like, pause. And so he slowed it down, and you know, all was cool with that, and then we shot a video to it, and that was the first thing that we kind of did together. First thing that Izzy and D1 had was the first, you know, interaction with each other, working with each other, and doing something.
Okay.
And all leading up to, like, you know, us, you know, officially being locked in. And from there, we were just kind of releasing. He had a record that went really good with Blue Benjamin Sleepy.
The BB. I think
BBB.
That's the shit they perform like
Blue
outside of
Benjamin
the Raven Stadium, right?
Yeah, it was dope.
Niggas said niggas was outside. Niggas said they couldn't get in the club one night. They wouldn't let them in the club. Niggas took this shit outside the club on the hood of the cars and on just stunting on them hoes. You heard me? I say, damn.
Legendary shit.
I was mad as shit. I was like,
and that record went crazy. Shout out to Blue Benjamin and, you know, everything they got going on. Like, they got a studio coming up soon. You know what I mean? It's gonna open up soon. Shout out to everything. They're doing good things, man. They doing good things.
Shout out to DJ Major too.
Major, B, Sleepy. Shout out to them. And so at the time, these records are buzzing, and he's still just coming consistently. This kid's just like, he really could rap. And as far as Young Chicks in Baltimore, like, you know, this went further after that, but in the beginning it was just Young Chicks in Baltimore. They like,
you know, the image.
They were going for him. I mean, like,
that's what blows you up, fellas.
Like, it was, they were going, man. And so, what happened was we were working with Will. We just got that deal there, and we said, well, it would be dope if we did a record with Will and Izzy, and they had interacted with each other, and their vibe was cool. And that wasn't the case with everybody. You know, like, there's a lot of,
I feel like they type of rapping is the same.
I mean, not even it's just like, you know, when you're moving around and you're trying to put together this conglomerate, like, people are going to try to respect each other as best, but everybody's not always going to just mix and match all the time. And then it might happen, it might later on, they might, if you try to mash it together, it's going to cause a big thing. And you know, but they had a good rapport with each other. And so we did a record with them two together. Why can I not put, just was right there on my tongue. What is it called? That record is called
the record with Will and Izzy.
Will and Izzy.
That was on the compilation, right?
It may have or may not.
I feel like it was on the
I
compilation.
don't know how I just did that. It's crazy. It's embarrassing. How we living?
How we living? Okay.
Exactly.
Sorry. How we living? So, and then y'all gotta understand that I work with a lot of artists. I know titles and lyrics to
No, we ain't trying to
Literally,
really understand. It's hard
might
to
be
keep up
thousands
with.
of records that I know.
It's
So,
hard to keep up with.
It's you know, it takes me a second. So
It's like an artist for getting this record.
How We Living was a record that we had done when we had introduced the idea for Will and Izzy to do together, and the idea behind it was let's bridge the gap between DC and Baltimore.
Okay.
Let's get someone young, forefront of the new emerging scene of DC, same thing in Baltimore, and let's cross promote. Therefore, these fans will then, you know what I mean, be following this artist. This artist, fans, boom, more traffic. That's the goal. And what came out of it was a really, really, really still to this day, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. The views on that record are not on YouTube are not crazy or anything like that. But bar for bar, that might be the hardest record in the area to come out. Like
At that time, I feel like that's Big Cat.
Nah, I'm gonna be
I feel
honest
like
with you.
that's
Bar
Big
for
Cat.
no, we talking about bars.
I feel like that's
Bars?
that's Cat.
Wow.
Talking shit,
I
man.
don't
I would
know,
say-
bro.
I
Talking
would
shit,
say-
talk heavy.
I
would
don't
say
know,
talk
bro.
heavy.
I would see between BBB and How We Living. Those might be two of the bar for bar hardest.
No, you
I
got
don't know,
you got
bro.
song. You got freestyle with him and Young Crazy too. That was fire too. There's a couple of them.
I don't know, yo.
Freestyle with Young
I
Crazy.
don't know, yo. I know another
Them both,
artist
when
that
they
got
both
one that
ball
with somebody
with
with back to back. I like it. I don't
Yeah?
know. You gotta give it to me. I'm gonna go over it. I ain't telling
Oh,
you,
and then you
but
want to
I'ma
take it
go
to
over
back to backs. Oh, it definitely kills back to backs. Back to backs top two is Blue Benjamin, is BBB and How We Living, and then we can and you know.
That BBB shit was hard.
Yeah. But the point of it was to bridge that gap. Now, what wound up coming out was an opportunity, and they said, "Well, wait, let's go and have a meeting, and let's just throw this record, this video, this visual up in the boardroom. Let's see if they bite on it. Like, we're not gonna say nothing. We didn't promote our artists to labels.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We promote our artists because we don't call them. They call us.
Understand?
I'm not reaching.
Me. Right. Yeah.
I'm not reaching, and it's not about being it's just about, I don't want to be the guy that's asking for no favor. I'm not asking for no favor. I'm going to do the work. And then you're going to ask, and the same thing they used to ask. Why you didn't come to me and tell me about this kid?
Mm-hmm.
Nah. Let me make the kid worth it. Why would we come asking for a favor?
Right.
I don't need no jump start. I'm going to show you.
Understand? Y'all hear that?
I'm going to show you.
Give them that info.
Talking shit, bitch.
Show them.
Show you.
Show them
Show you.
that you worth it.
Not playing.
Exact-
Not trying
And let them come to you. Y'all see these big
Yeah.
all-star.
Not trying to one up nobody, or wasn't trying to come at them like no shit like that. I just I don't want to ask you for nothing.
No.
But I want to be of value first.
No,
Then
exactly.
then you
That's
come
the
to me
whole
with your
point.
value,
Yeah.
and
Then
you tell me what you can
and
do
if I
for
turn
me.
it down, then nigga,
And then we
because
can see
I
where
know
we
I'm
can
worth
go.
more.
Like but really it's
Fuck
not
you
even
talking
about
about?
us at the time. See, we trying to prove as executives, whether you want to call us execs, managers, whatever you want to call executive producers, whatever you want to call us. Our bread and butter is going to be based off of our track record of what we do with artists.
Understand?
So we really trying to work these deals in the beginning. Like, I don't know what somebody's doing later when they cashing out or whatever, but I know that my idea was just to get my name out there as far as somebody who could do that. I didn't want to talk and cap and be like, I can do this and da-da-da. No, I wanted to just be involved with countless projects where he was like, oh, damn. And maybe he do know what he's talking about.
Thanks.
So then later on, you know, when I want to make some, some real money. Not saying I didn't, the music didn't pay me well. It did, and it does. It's just that there's, you have to put in work at a certain point to get to a certain bag.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta prove your worth for that. I'm sure that Kevin Hart wasn't charging what he's charging now. You can't get him for no goddamn. What do you? I don't know what it would charge to even do that.
He probably want to do the show.
Yeah, I don't know what that would be right now. I don't know. I'm sure it's a lot. That's the biggest comedian in the U.S.
Mm-hmm. You go and you prove your worth, and then you're able to talk it like a resume. You know what I'm saying? You don't just show up to a job and expect to get the job when you have nothing. You have no experience. You don't have no way to.
Yeah, a lot of people got pride issues.
Yeah.
They don't want to start from the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind starting from the bottom nowhere because I can't wait to do a stellar job right here and then show you that I need to be right here.
Exactly.
You understand? The
I
next
can do the
spot.
same thing that you do.
I want to show you that, like, yo, I can start from the bottom because I can do this well, this. Now, what's next? I want to come to you with that energy. Like, you know, like,
Thanks.
I can dig it. I can dig that. 'Cause
But
that's what it's about.
So what happened was we presented this video for Republic, and we're working with a guy named Saint, my guy, Saint Haraway. He really is a big help to me as well, though I didn't capitalize on it at the time. But Saint really gave me a lot of game that I still go back to this day. And he had a lot of belief in me when I did at a time when I didn't see it for myself. Even though I had got that far, I didn't see the same thing he did. And they were extremely excited about their record, and at the end they said, "Who's the light skinned kid with the tattoo?" Bingo. They bid exactly how we wanted that to happen.
Respected. Right.
And,
so you niggas was like masterminds. Y'all was play fucking the nigga minds basically.
Yeah, mind fucking. Like Diddy saying, what was that shit? Get him to the Greek.
Understand? Y'all was mind fucking.
Yeah.
You feel me?
That's all it was. A big mind fuck. But that's what marketing is. Marketing is mind fucking.
Nigga, you took a street code. Fuck marketing. You took a street code.
Wait a minute. Let him go. Because he was just getting ready to get
another
into
joint.
shit.
No, he can go back to it. I ain't leaving it. I ain't going nowhere else. I was just saying that one thing. Because that's what we know. Everybody got a mind fuck game out here. Don't play no fucking games. Everybody got a mind fuck game. And I don't say street code as in like the game itself. Right. It's just the world that we live in. Everybody are for the streets. Your woman, you, everybody. That was a code right there.
No, that's true.
A mind fuck. Y'all went in there and mind fuck them people.
I mean, but that's what everything is. Everything. If you think that the only thing that don't lie is numbers.
Understand.
Numbers and signatures.
Understand.
Unless they forged, but numbers don't lie. So, what? Like, that is what your entire society, the things that you buy, the things that you talk about, this is all part of a mind fuck. Like, I'll give you an example. One of my heroes is a man named Edward Bernays.
Let's get into it.
A lot of people don't know who he is, but that is like the forefather of what we know as propaganda or public relations. It's the same thing.
Right.
Propaganda is just public relations that are lies, that are proven to be lies, and then they're, using to push an initiative.
Shit the media do. Yeah. 24/7.
But that's what
their number one rule.
So it's only PR when someone exposes that. That's my point.
Exactly.
It's PR or it's propaganda based off of where you're sitting. So this is one of the
relations are the people that try to fix the propaganda.
Right.
The scandal.
Or steer it in their own way.
Right.
Like, so it's just
steer it to their point.
So one of his first major showcasings of his influence and his strategy on the American people is during
That nigga dropped in history tonight.
But I don't know if it's like the late 20s.
I think it's the Martel.
Or I believe I want to say it's the 20s. And what he was having a problem with big tobacco which is actually like, you know, it's an entity like Big Tobacco America, American Tobacco, like came to him and they said, well, you know, we want to find a way to, you know, help us, you know, market and push, you know, more and more tobacco on people. And at the time, see, like, women weren't supposed to smoke. That was unladylike.
I understand.
But at the time, see, people don't realize in history. People don't realize in history there was before the 60s and 70s where there was like this whole like women's like rights and there was a time of this before that.
Right.
And that was the Roaring 20s.
Right.
You understand? Like if you really think of it back then, the women back then were dancing, drinking, out partying, things like that that were not thought of. If you think of like 20s, 30s, you're thinking of like a lady taking a picture in front of her house in a black and white, like picture frame with her husband standing behind. It wasn't always like that. They had a moment of women independence too, where they were really expressing themselves. And what he did was he said the World Fair came up, and he said, "Well, I'm going to enlist some very influential models and actresses at the time, and I'm going to hire them to go sit in the front row, World Fair, and they're all simultaneously going to light cigarettes." And what the public thought that they were pushing was a symbol of women's rights and independence. I can smoke too. I can do what I want. And what does that become a symbol of for women? What becomes a symbol of women independence at that point? Lighting a cigarette. And now he's selling, Big Tobacco is selling to a whole entire other gender that was off limits before that. Profit margins go through the fucking roof.
And so capital is bigger now.
You're always mind fucking people is my point. You have to. If you're not mind fucking, bro, you're not doing it right.
I understand.
And you don't, and the mind fucking doesn't have to be where you're not providing what you say that you provide neither.
Pussy don't get wet off this shit that he talking. You're a lost cause, motherfucker. Understand it out there right now. If he ain't talking that shit right now that you like, if you don't like that, you're a broke bitch. That's what I'm putting out there. I'm putting it out there right now. That's what it is.
So you got Izzy at Republic.
They've been on him. They said, "Yo, where's the kid at?" Like, boom, showcases some more of his records. We played a couple more. They said, "Oh, he really can rap? Yeah, bring him up here next week." O had something else going on, and he said, "Well, you know, take him up there and see if, you know, if they." I don't think we thought that they were gonna come out like that. I had met Avery Lippman at the time. The two brothers, you know, founded Republic Records, Avery and Monty. I hadn't met Monty, and I came out in the lobby, and I'd been there. You know, I was a regular there by that time, but I came there, and Monty came from the back office and came and hugged me. "Oh, 13, I'm so happy that you brought him here. I'm so happy." And he turned to Izzy, he said, "Do you want to be signed to Republic?" It was the fastest thing. I never saw it go any faster. Normally they wanted to check this whole thing out. They were sold from the jump. He thanked me for bringing them to him. You know, happy to do. He was, you know, happy to continue business with D1ent Entertainment. You know, whatever. And Izzy's response was a solid one from what I can remember. It was like, if we can make it make sense, if we can be fair on both ends, then yeah, we can. Yeah, I want to be signed to Republic, and that deal happened fast, very fast. That deal was the fastest one that we, in my opinion, executed.
So you got Izzy at Republic, you got Will at Republic, you got Peso at Warner, which
Peso wasn't there yet.
There was at Asylum.
It wasn't there yet either.
What was before Asylum?
Wow.
They were still in the Kai when all this happened.
No, I know that. Right, I didn't.
So
I'm
now
moving
comes
too fast.
So now comes when after that, where I come to and I say, "Hey, look, you know, and this ain't, you know, this all real. So, you know, Shordie and Perp had a really good thing going on, and Shordie Shordie is a visionary when it comes to his style of the way he does music, and so he's very passionate about that. So he had at the time a reputation of being easily frustrated, which is understandable. And so I come to him, I say, look, you know, I was already dealing with them. He had a good relationship with them as well, but you know, we was like, we got a good thing going on. I don't know how, you know. I'm like, look, bro, they ready. Let's go ahead and let's fuck with them. And so there was a time to come out of that situation though with the last label that they were at. And long story short, that's you know, family of mine as well. And so we sat down and we worked out a deal where they could be compensated for their time and the effort and the money that they put in, and whatever we took to make it happen, we made it happen because I believed in them that much that I was willing to bet any amount of money on it. And so we struck that deal, and we immediately started promoting Money Man the first day. From there, that record just took off like wildfire in Baltimore anyway. And it rocked so hard in our one city that it started to bleed over to DC because of us all working together. You have Will around them, so it's cross promotion. They're all in the same room a lot, and people from DC were starting to catch wave of what's going on in Baltimore.
So I'm gonna tap in right there. What do you think that made that record so special? Like what audience did it touch?
I believe in off the break, you want to say that it touched the kids.
The kids.
I think it was just the energy of the record. I don't even think it. If you really listen to the record, okay, so the reaction you get from it is just, hey, everybody's just jumping, dancing, like off the break as soon as it comes on. You really listen to the lyrics, we're not talking about kid stuff. That record has so much energy, that a lot of parents didn't have a problem with their kids singing about what they were singing about. They weren't even hearing the lyrics. They just looking at the energy, the reaction.
So do you think
that's where I learned? It was a big part of it was the dance. A huge part of it was the dance because the dance was a way for the public to connect with it.
Right.
So it gave them a way to feel a part of it.
Right.
Now it's easy to transfer that.
So who started the dance?
Lil D.
Lil D, right?
Lil D.
Shout out
to D.
Definitely a light. Really, I got a lot of love for the kid. And Lil D came up with that dance to that record. They recorded the record, I think, in Virginia. And came back down, and he just had done a video to it in his driveway. And I mean, I don't know. I just looked at, I saw it when he first posted it. And then right after that, I just started seeing it popping up on other people's pages. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then it just kept going from there and there and there and there. And then it made the record more interesting. And then we were going to shoot another video to it at first, but it was, at that point, I think it just started to take off before we even had a chance to get behind it like that.
Exactly.
At least with the young kids in Baltimore. And that's where you don't understand the power of like certain audiences. If you really tap into the youth, really force Pace for the Mafia to be on the map. Kids between ages of 6, sometimes 4. I mean, I got videos of kids 2 years old saying
shit.
And it costs you. You know what I mean? Like the first
shit.
learning how to walk.
So much motivation.
Hitting it better than me.
And like it.
Who don't want to be the money man?
Who doesn't? I don't know.
Just like the Muffin Man. Who doesn't want to be in the hood You growing up.
That nigga said the
Who
Muffin
doesn't?
Man.
Yeah, remember the Muffin Man? You remember? You looked up to the Muffin Man. No, you looked up to the motherfucking Money Man. You come from Baltimore City on the northeast side, from the west side to the east, to the south, to around the world, man. They took it from one place and took it around the world, and
I understand. And we thank him for it. And I
we
thank
look
you
up to the Money Man.
We thank you.
Not the Muffin Man,
That
but
helped
the
your shit
Money
about
Man.
that
You heard?
situation
Yeah, I just ain't
and
wanted to
take
be
that
stuck.
shit
I
that
wanted to
far.
come back and make good on what I said earlier. I left and worked on these other projects and had aided and assisted in them getting to where they needed to get to. And I wanted to make sure that I had done right by them by coming back to say, look, I'm going to get you out of that situation. And then we started working on that project. And that led to a situation that they were offered by Asylum, which is an entity that has been a part of popping up a lot of artists in the beginning of a lot of major artists that are under that umbrella of Warner. Started off with a company called Asylum. A big shout out to Dante Ross. He's always been someone I could talk to or just give visionary insight on the game. I mean, this is a dinosaur. You're talking about from the Beastie Boys to, you know, MF Doom to, I mean,
Asylum had MF Doom?
I mean, Asylum worked with a lot of people, but Dante Ross is a person who I could speak to and be able to tap into with somebody who will work with a lot of people.
Okay.
And that was fun. You know, I never got excited about the artists that I would meet. I'm not even talking about that. I never even brought that up. Like, I don't even care. Like, I got a lot of relationships with different artists. But I would get excited about the execs.
I understand.
Like, I would get excited about that. Like,
that's where you want to be at.
I think the art. Okay, I'll tell you an artist I got excited about that I was in the room with.
Who was that?
And I was like, this is different. It was Seal.
Wow.
Seal.
Wow.
I was on a rooftop party.
Seal.
Out of all the fucking
I was at a rooftop party.
I think you ready to say something
in New York.
Yeah.
Nigga said Seal. No, I respect it, but Seal.
Nah, listen, it's different because I'm at a rooftop party in New York.
He took your bitch, didn't he?
Whole bunch of execs there, and I come through and I'm going from one. We taking photos and we walking to the other side, and somebody pulled me into this circle at a table, and there was a toast. I mean, everybody's a little bit intoxicated, and I look across the table and it's Seal, and I don't know what they were, but they looked like they were like a bunch of Australian models. Like they was like,
they got like
sun-kissed.
No,
they was like sun-kissed blonde, like with the good tan, but it wasn't the fake tan.
Skin.
No,
yeah,
it wasn't the fake tan.
They had that
this
real
was
buttery
sun-kissed.
skin. Yeah, that real buttery kiss. Yeah, that buttery. That I can't believe it's not butter skin. Yeah.
I'm like, whoa. Like,
I can't believe it's not butter.
And I'm like, I'm thinking to myself as I'm toasting, I'm like, are you toasting with Seal?
That's lit. That is lit.
So
it's not just the opportunity. No, because the opportunity wasn't just it wasn't just niggerish at that time. And I hate to use that word, but just bring it to light to understand what I'm saying. It wasn't just something that I was only respected for being something that could only you go fuck with the hooligans.
Right.
The craft had started to be respected. That is what it symbolized.
To be noticed.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's what it symbolized to me. Because they're not letting everybody's not getting in that room.
Understand?
Yeah, it's not happening.
So from Asylum.
So they went to Asylum, and then they were there for a little bit, and
y'all dropped,
I don't think at the time
y'all dropped Winning on there, right?
Winning on there.
I think they doing this shit.
Yeah.
Nigga, we winning.
Drop Winning there, and then
money.
That record did okay. Not what Money Man did, but it did okay, and it carried over for a little bit. But then at the same time, we didn't really realize that Asylum was going through some things, and then they kind of collapsed as a label for a second, and then that happened before. They had collapsed before and then relaunched again, and then they had collapsed again through I don't know what the situation was completely, whether it was financial situations or what. And Atlantic, which is next up in that hierarchy, had the option to pick up the artists that they had or not, and they didn't decide to pick up them as a group or them at all. And there was some differences in visionary between the type of music that group was making, and so they wound up splitting. And Shordie wanted to go solo, and he wanted to bring his sound to light without a pull in a different direction from what he was going. I'm not saying it was the wrong one. It wasn't his sound. Yeah. Right. And his sound, and he didn't feel like he matched with it the same way that he wanted the opportunity to just see what his thing could do on its own.
I understand.
And that was difficult for them because they had done a lot of work together. And but then comes where Shordie has to reinvent himself amongst a boatload of adversity because this we come from a place that's not always so positive, and so he was forced to suck up public opinion, suck up how and then everybody isn't always faced with that same situation, but that was the situation he was faced with. And I think that still to this day a lot of people wonder how it was possible for us to take an artist that the area that we were dealing with that he's from was not in the best support of him at the time.
Right. Guaranteed.
And it's still
like that.
Transcended and we were able to capitalize on a sound and an aesthetic, a visual, a look, an aesthetic and a sound that really was just his niche. I go on a trip. O sends me on a trip to LA with Izzy and Shordie. And my man is like, yeah, I got this situation. We'll work with some producers. They did shit. And I was surprised. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, the fuck am I really surprised by, bro? Like, I mean, why do I care? And so they like, hey, go to this address in the hills, and like, all right, cool. Like, I've been in LA. Like, this is not exciting me. I ran through it. I've done all this stuff.
Understand.
And I go and they like get this address. And I'm like, all right, boom. I knock on the door. It's me, Izzy, and Shordie. And Scott Storch opened the door.
That nigga Scott.
The fuck?
Now I'm realizing that I'm at Scott Storch's house. Not he answered the door like
I remember this.
To a studio.
I remember this. This is when I'm fresh home. I remember this.
Wait, I'm at this nigga house.
Crazy. Crazy! Do y'all understand what's going on, the history we talking?
I'm like, all right, cool. I'm
From
like,
Baltimore City.
I keep my cool the whole time. I almost fucking fainted at the door, but I'm like, all right.
Y'all see how crazy this shit is? The evolution of this man here? Come on, man. Y'all better stop playing. He's at Scott Storch's house. He went from seeing Seal, having a toast with Seal, popping up at Scott Storch's house and don't even know where he going. This is where life takes you. He is living where life takes you. That's where life takes you.
Like, for real.
Let's see where life takes you. So, today, I bet.
Yo, it just going down.
Nigga, watch this homeboy beat Diddy up. What the fuck?
Not beat. Whoa, not. Oh, man. Now, see, that's why
they twist your words at these podcasts.
They twist them. So,
not literally.
We going there, and we going there now. I'm going to tell you how much of an impression Shordie made. Now, first of all, the experience with just chilling with Scott was that was cool because I mean he wasn't what I don't know. I didn't think I had a preset because
Did you think you was about to meet Cocaine Scott?
No, I knew he was. I knew that he had put those things behind him and he was working and doing his own thing and rebuilding from there. I already knew. I had knowledge of that, and and what I didn't expect. I guess him to be able to. I don't know what I expected. I don't know. He just connected in his own way with me on different levels, and everybody else with the room. He knew how to work.
Understand.
Yeah, and then I really realized, okay, yeah, you know, he is, you know. I mean, I was already a fan forever, but you know, you really see it utilized. Like, damn, this guy really does know how to work a room, no matter how. And I don't even know if he expected us to come. That's another thing. I don't know who put this together, or whether he fully knew, or what was going on. And because the people who had introduced me to him ran into Scott by accident.
Mm-hmm.
Some weird shit. And my guy, oh man, run with my guy Holly Hustle, and who else? Holy God, and Pac-Man Gotti.
Okay. Holy God, Pac-Man Gotti. Shout out to them fellas.
Yeah, and my guy Krim from Kansas, and Kansas and Colorado, that area, you know, those areas. And that session went well, and Scott was like, you know, he was interested in Shordie, to the point he's like, you know, as he signed, he was a little bit upset or disappointed when he found out that he was actually already locked in the deal. He wanted to, I could tell he really wanted to work with him. Scott is a different animal when it comes to those keys and being there in that presence.
The best hits
of watching him build a record. I watched him build 3 records that
Wow.
from scratch.
That's
Scratch.
hold the fuck up. Wait a second. Wait a fucking second. 3 finished records, or he just built them up to finish them later?
No, he made the beat right in front of us, and then they started recording it.
Damn.
3 times.
Goddamn. You understand?
And I'm not talking about he just finished the beat. Like, he made a beat that you will never make 3 times. And then niggas started rapping on them. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. There's some shit you're not gonna do. It's not gonna happen.
Now I understand how the fuck niggas was going #1 on a Scott Storch record.
Mm-hmm.
The nigga has perfected his craft.
And the guy's a god of sound. I'll give him that, like, all day. And from there, after that, that was just a monumental thing for Shordie, I think, too. Whether he acknowledged it or whether he knew all the way or not, it's just like, to get that type.
Oh no, he was excited about it. Trust me, I got that phone call while y'all was out there.
Get that kind of recognition from someone like Scott let him really give a lot of confidence in himself, and it led up to us moving on, and always sent us down to Atlanta. And he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna just give y'all 2 weeks of studio time. Just see if y'all come up with something. Let's see what happens." And we're down there, and he's recording, and at the same time, Shordie is saying, "Look, I want to kind of break into some other sounds, maybe. You know, like, I want to try to find a way to structure my records a little bit different, like, than what I was doing." And I didn't know what I was doing at the time, so let me get that clear right now. I did not go into that situation saying, I'm gonna do this, and I know what I'm doing, and I'm gonna A&R this record, or I'm gonna do whatever. That's why I never went for, like, you know, I never. We'll get into that later. I didn't know that that's what I was doing. What I was doing was listening to my artist.
Right. And
my artist said, "Hey, I want to try to find some different sounds." And I had a lot of reputation and good relationships with producers, because I was one of the people out of the label that really had contact day to day with each artist. And so I would meet all of their producers. So I had a collection of all of those connections, just a Rolodex of producers. And so I say, okay, well, hey, you calling everybody. You send me a pack of 5 beats, all 5 different sounds. Let me show me your best version of each different sound that you have.
Exactly.
And I'm going through records, and then I don't know why, but I should have stayed close to home, because the obituary beat comes from a guy named YG. YG Beats.
YG on the beats for me.
YG Beats sends me a pack of,
YG.
he sends me a pack of 6 records. And the first record that I listened to was the Bitch Right Beat. I listened to it by myself. I listened to the other records. And I went back to the Bitch Right Beat. And I said, oh, this is like this Cali bounce. Like, this is different, like, whatever. But I'm like, I'm not understanding what I'm doing at the time, like I said. But I'm starting to picture Shordie's voice on this record. And I'm like, oh, he could do that if he, this is different and it could fit if he hit it like this. And so I presented it to him. I said, yo, you like this beat right here? He like, I like it's hard, but that don't even match my shit. I'm like, nah, I do. And what I did, I just
Let's
hummed.
think outside the box like you wanted to.
I just hummed
Let's get into
some
it.
of his melodies. I don't do no writing, no shit. I mean, you catch me drinking, I'll freestyle for you, but I'm not, you know, nah, that ain't what I do. I just hummed some of his melodies that I just learned from. At this time I've been working with him for like 3-4 years, and so I just hummed some. So no, you can do it like this, like whatever. And he like, oh, I can. And he's like, bet. And I was like, but I remember we were speaking about it, and I was like, this gotta be a record that's like a club record. This gotta be a club record. This gotta be something that got bitches spilling champagne on each other in these sessions saying, go best friend, go best friend, go best friend. I was seeing that early. Like,
in the bigger picture.
Like, this gotta be, like, I don't know why that was the vibe that I got, because like I said, some of the things that I knew that was like, if women rule shit. So it's like, if women can turn up to it and go up to it, a dude always gonna want to spin that record. Spin that, they go crazy to that. So, like, yo, I remember when we go to the studio, kid named Zach. I want to say it's Blue Room Studios in Atlanta. Shout out to Zach. And he recorded Shordie. And I remember when, and mind you, he didn't come to me with his lyrics. He don't come to me with, he don't know sign off. That ain't how, he do what he do. He's an artist. So he goes and he starts recording. He like, I hear him say, bitch, you a dog and your homegirl too. I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, like, it ain't, I'm not tripping off a nigga saying that, like, whatever. But I'm like, Shorty, how the fuck am I supposed to put a record on the radio if this is gonna be hard? It say, bitch, you a dog and your homegirl too.
Cause bitch, she a dog and her homegirl is
like,
too.
How the fuck am I gonna do that, bro?
But they talking about,
so I'm immediately pissed.
That shit is true.
But then as Zach turned the shit up, and that shit get the bang, and I'm like, oh my God. But then I kind of remember something. And I remembered a bounce on a record that I had worked on previously. And that was Pull Up Pop Out. You know, Pull Up Pop Out started with this bounce like, hey, and I noticed that every time that shit just amped the crowd up. They could have been chilling before, but they would hear that shit like, well, a rapper boy. Hey. And then I knew that it would, so I'm like, hey, look, I'm like, yo, can you, I didn't even know if I was saying it right. I'm like, you know, like bouncing a record is one thing, but I'm like, yo, can you add a bounce to that in the beginning? Like, he like, what you mean? I'm like, no, like bounce the. So this is where you get the.
Bitch you up, 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 bitch you a dog and my homegirl too.
And so it really like, and the way Shorty hit that record, he created something that was so infectious. It was almost women empowering.
Real shit, it did. It was.
Because it wasn't men singing it to them in the club. It's just a reverse psychology.
Singing it to us.
If they were singing, they were singing it to us, or were singing it to their homegirl.
That's what I'm saying.
In the section. That's what you saw. You saw chicks in each other's faces pointing at each other, because bitch, you a dog in your old girl too.
Yeah.
I'm a dog on that nigga. Fuck him. That's how they felt.
Real shit though.
Fuck that nigga.
Real shit though.
Yeah, I'm a dog in my old girl too. And they kept going with it. And I had faith from that record. Listen, we stopped it.
And that was
I called immediately.
Studio compound?
No, this is in Atlanta. We was in Atlanta, just down there. We found that when you start moving artists around,
you get a different vibe.
You get a different vibe because they experiencing different shit in life. If you find an artist stuck and keep rapping about the same shit, take them around.
Give him some experience.
Give him some experience, because what he's gonna do is he's gonna start rapping about these new things that are happening in his life. Gives him a different perspective. And so we found that recording out of town gave a different feel.
Okay.
Because they were somewhere else. Their mindset was different a little bit. And so that I had faith in that record from the jump. I called and I was like, yo, this the one. That's it. I said, the record we all been looking for. Fuck they've been looking for. This is the biggest record that we're gonna ever produce. Like so far.
Put it out there.
And he's like, bro, you don't know what record it is, because I don't know what record's coming next, and you don't know either. And that's really the theory. You really don't. You can just work them. Most hit records are marketed. They're not made.
Understand.
You know, there's another record that's
Key
better
that.
than that
one more
record.
time.
Key that.
Yeah, most hit records are marketed. They're not made.
Exactly.
It's a hit record down the street.
The fuck?
It's a record better than the record that you guys are playing. Everybody's banging right now, right down the street. Down the street, not from me, down the street from you. Anybody who's looking at this shit. It's a record down the street. But is it going to get marketed and promoted the right way?
No.
Maybe not. So, but this really was going to be one of the best, just the record. It was just dope. Not saying that lyrics or whatever, I'm not. Just all together impactful music. Music has to move people.
Exactly.
It has to really connect with you. And that's not something that always lyrics just do by themselves. It's the production, it's the visual, it's the overall image of the person and the delivery. All these things factor into it. So
my question, right? My next question, right? Because we gotta get up out of here soon. My next question, right? You done had Will, you done had Izzy, you done moved Peso to Shordie. You done been in buildings with Crazy.
Wish
you done had, y'all about to say you done had Young Crazy, Wish Granted.
Band the Jug.
About to say y'all got Band the Jug. Y'all done opened the doors for so many artists through your D1 label, right?
Yeah.
What will be your next plan, man? When we start the label, goddammit? That's the question. Motherfucker. When is we starting this label, goddammit?
I mean, like,
what the fuck is happening?
I ain't never off
Look
the
how that
ball.
nigga stood up on you.
I ain't.
You thought this shit was a game, nigga?
I ain't never off the ball. It's like
what's
what
next,
we
baby?
doing is, you know what I mean? Like when one thing it kind of dissipates for a second, you gotta sit back and reset and see where everything's going. But I would just say that I wouldn't count out at all anybody who was a part of that team at all.
I understand.
Because the spark that came from it, everybody that's in that circle or was in that circle at some point in time is a different breed of hustler, because they've seen the result of hustling.
I understand.
So, counting them out would be real stupid, because these niggas already tasted blood. They're gonna keep coming for it. Whether it's in a unified thing, individually, I'm gonna support what anybody else is doing regardless. And we still all do work together in some capacity, or speak to each other in some capacity the same way. That was a dynasty that served its purpose at the time. And a lot of people would like, oh damn, what happened to it, or think that we were hurt to see it go. We weren't. Right. It worked itself and put everybody in a spot. That was like everybody being caught in a tornado. Understand. That flung everybody into a spot where, hey, look, you're better off than where you started.
You landed
And, you know,
here, you landed here, you landed here. But nigga, guess what? You ain't landing behind yourself.
Yeah, and you got to make the best, and your next move, your best move, and then people just went from there. So and we all still have a really great relationship, and these stories are still young.
Understand?
I've been in the game
But a lot
for
of
5
people,
years.
but a lot of people don't know it. A lot of people, our Baltimore scene, don't know the type of things you've done with these artists. A lot of people don't even like. A lot of people know some things. Like when I was talking to True Guap, you feel me, another artist from Baltimore.
Yeah.
Like he know about D1ent itself, but he don't know who was put in the forefront. He don't know that people from Baltimore were actually putting in the work to get these Baltimore
It
artists
wasn't
on
just
the
a lot
front.
of people looked at it like it was like
You
it
dig
was
what I'm
just
saying?
because O was from New York. He came down and was just trying to like just influence. Nah, it wasn't like that. First of all, O ain't just from New York. The nigga been here since he went to college in Morgan. I met the nigga, he was in his 40s.
Understand?
The nigga had been in Baltimore longer than I had been. Or just
Understand.
about amount the time that I had been.
Understand.
Like, you know what I mean? I'm in
Real
my
shit.
mid-20s. He been there just as long, if not more. So, this is people from here who really put their backbone into this shit. Really risked a lot. You know, I could get into details. It's really not. Some of them, my details are speaking. A lot of them aren't. You know what I mean? But like, you know, people really
we
risk
gonna
their
come
neck
back
for
to
that.
it, baby. Listen, baby, this podcast ain't going nowhere, baby. You got a lot of long more story to make. You feel me? A lot of long little story to go.
Nah, I
You feel me?
appreciate it.
And we gonna make sure we get you back here to continue to finish that story. You feel me? But what you've done so far is more than I can say. Well, because we know you personally, and I know you personally, and I seen what you went through the game. I can honestly say, my nigga, you show me more steps, and for me to give people the information I can give them than anybody else could out here. You dig what I'm saying?
Nah, but I hope that, you know, that shit, it fling shit. So like I said, like, that shit it really ain't stopped spinning either. Because other things are launching from there. Other people are gonna continue to push from there, and those things are gonna keep spreading. So like, whether it's y'all starting this or any other endeavors anybody's starting, it's still gonna continue to be a movement of progress. And that was really what the whole shit was really about. So I appreciate y'all even having me in the first place, or even acknowledging the fact that I did something, bro.
It's all love,
that's really what
baby.
it's all about, bro.
You our motherfucking first interview.
First interview of season fucking 2, you heard? Clap it up, you heard? Yeah!
Y'all go follow my dog at _official13. You dig what I'm saying? Or I mean, well, you about to say
Nah,
you
it's
explain that.
_official13, but the O is a 0.
Understand?
And,
you know what I mean?
you
Like,
know, I fuck with music. That's about it.
man, get with them, man. We trying to build, man. We here trying to bridge the gap, man. There's people behind the scenes that y'all don't know that we want to bring out there so that y'all can tap into them. You feel me?
Exactly.
I don't give a fuck what you're doing, whether it's executive, A&9, you clothing, whatever you do, man. Tap in, man. All that shit come together, baby. It's about our culture and we run this shit.
Make sure you go subscribe right now to keep it a Haundo. You know what I mean? We moving forward, man. We making this thing pop.
2021,
It's the beginning of everything. It's the beginning of everything. You understand? You feel me? You know what I mean? But we gonna end this shit off on the cheers like we always do. I know. You know what I mean?
I'm empty.
He empty, but we go.
Don't. Okay, come on.
He's
There
not
we go.
empty.
Right there. Yeah. You heard? Cheers to you. Cheers to me. May we never disagree. But if we do, fuck you. Cheers to me.
I'm gonna learn that shit.
Understand?